Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint Germain family, to the cheeky post match podcast of Paris Saint Germain versus Metz. Obviously, aren't that many talking points, but we might as well just have a post match podcast, discuss the little stuff there is to discuss. You guys may want to discuss some other stuff as well. Send the link. Yeah, I mean it's a great victory, staying top of Ligue. Um, but yeah, not that much else, honestly. Very happy with Warren Zara Emre's performance, 100%. Point differential in every between first and second. Top five leagues. Where's Savolian? What a game from Hakimi, my man of the match. I would still give it to Warren, but very happy to see Hakimi, improving the baby steps I've been talking about. And there was definitely a confidence shift ever since he scored the goal versus Monaco as well. Unpopular opinion: does Zidane is talented enough to take the reins of the obviously the attack? I don't think. Yeah, I don't think he's consistent enough. He's obviously showing great moments, but again, this is not Barca, where we're just gonna put the reign on someone that isn't there at the stage of his career. Yeah. Man of the match was given to Gonzalo. Yeah, I know. GA. It's all about the GA. It's all about the GA, unfortunately. Like Warren should have gotten it. To be honest, after the injuries earlier this season, all of our matches have been boring. Even if we win, it's not enjoyable to watch PSG as it was last season. Again, I don't understand why people are still like stuck in last season. I don't understand that. This is like it's not last season. I didn't compare last season to the season before. I talked about this season about this season, last season about last season. I don't know why people keep on mentioning last season and everything. Today was an enjoyable game to watch. Obviously, we had a massive rotation, so obviously the quality isn't the same. But with new Champions League format, the Premier League financial dominance, not end it, but compete with it for sure. Shout out to Lucas Hernandez. I thought it was very good today. Yeah, yeah, 100%. I mean, some earlier mentioned Hakim, I mentioned Warren, and you mentioned Lucas Hernandez. They were probably the three best players tonight. I love Lucas Hernandez, like as a person and as a football player. Everything he's gone through in his career, and he's still performing at this level with this hunger and desire. He definitely wants to be part of that World Cup squad. Could be a starter. With Digne and Theo Hernandez looking cooked. Lucas, if Lucas just takes less wage, I would definitely keep him. The tactics don't hit the same way. It's like Lucha knows the solution for a better performance. It doesn't do it. I absolutely disagree with that. I think this season, the thing that has, as you mentioned, impacted us is obviously the injuries, which has influenced, individual performances and so on. Last season, we didn't have basically a single injury, like a major injury, and every player was performing great individually. Hakimi's been injured. Marquinhos is getting older. We've had a goalkeeping competition situation now that Donna has gone. Pacho been elite, Nuno been elite, Vitinha been elite, Neves has been so much injured, Fabian has been injured so much, Dembele has been injured so much, Du has been injured so much, and then Khvicha had a bad start, but since then has been picking it up. And I think, the rotation players, we got to give them prop. Kangin Lee, Warren Zaire Emre, Gonzalo Ramos, Zabarni. I mean, he's a rotation player now. These players have stepped up. Lucas Hernandez has stepped up his level since last season. So, yeah. I disagree with like Luchi holding us back or something. Bit of Pastore. Yeah, no, 100%. I think he plays with that pausa. That he's a very great link-up player, Orlean. If you want to play 1-2, you play with Draw. But yeah, I mean, for me, obviously, Pastore is more way back. Orlean, I see many similarities with Fabian Ruiz as well. I mean, all of them basically similar profile. They're not number 10s. Like I remember Barca fans were saying, "Oh, he's this number 10. He can't place an offensive 8." No, they're not number 10s. They're all offensive 8s that rely on just beautiful technical ability. Yo, let's go rise and rise, man. Hopefully enjoy the atmosphere. Looked really great despite us just playing Metz. Um, yeah, it was a very good team win. I don't know. I don't think the stream will go on for that long, but yeah. Sleep well, man. I believe I believe we can win the UCL this season. I'm still trying to take every single game one at a time. We need to see better performances. We need to see the individual and the collective level of this team rise. We're still not playing maybe at the level I know that we can play, but I'm seeing the improvements. I'm seeing the improvements at the perfect time. Let's do this. Let's go Spursy. Let's go G. We have to be careful on Wednesday. Monaco got big Mentatu and Overlaw. 100% Orleans. And we're just up by one goal. And we know Monaco is a team, Orleans. They're not one of those Ligue 1 teams that comes to the park and starts shitting themselves. No, Monaco, they've beaten us multiple times or taken points away from us. I ever remember the first half of last season, played really good. It was 1-1. And then obviously we cooked them in the second half. But yeah, without Dembouz as well, hopefully Dua can start the Monaco game, but we got to take it seriously. Every single game in the UCL, every single game in Ligue 1. We got 11 games left in Ligue 1. I think we have, what is it, round 16, quarterfinal, 8 games I think we have left, right? Yes, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we got 8 games left in the UCL. Every single game we need to take 100% seriously. I mean, I gotta disagree. I mean, I wanted the first UCL more than anything, but I really want this back to back. I want this back to back more than I wanted the Club World Cup last summer, for example. True. It's not really an injury. It's more, he felt a little bit of a knock, and we don't want to take any risks. That was a great performance to win UCL and Ligue 1, but we're the one trophée de champion. Vamos Paris, vamos Fedi. Same here, man. He was really good. Yo, was good, Tayo. Was good. Yo, Tayo, keep growing. And remember, do the following thing, Tayo. Just follow, especially PSG supporters. Like maybe go through my following or PSG reports following, because they were your like base. Because I remember you got the account that used to be what was it? My PSG news account. So try to build up the PSG fan base. I mean, I woke up like 7 hours ago, so I'm not that tired. But thank you. I could see Arsenal drop more points, but again, we're not competing with Arsenal. We're competing with ourselves. That's why when I made the video, are Arsenal going to win the league and title? This is our league and title to win or our league and title to lose. It's always been in our hands because of the quality and the financial disparity between us and the other league and teams. If not PSG, is your favorite to win the UCL? Um, Again, since the beginning of the season, I have had PSG, Bayern, and Barca, and I'm gonna stick with that. People might say Liverpool, people might say Arsenal, might say Madrid. I think all of those three teams are in the tier below. So you got tier S, PSG, Bayern, Barca, tier A, Madrid, Arsenal, Liverpool. Dub dub dub. Yes, I do. It's like an ego hit, Tayo. For me, sometimes no, it's very hard. Sometimes I feel like the numbers go down. For example, on my account, even with a big account, Tayo, sometimes the numbers are less than usual, even though they're still massive. It's a little bit of an ego hit, but I use that as like fire, Tayo. I just go respond to every single comment, try to tweet the best quality tweets as possible, and just get back to it. Just get back to it. And use that hunger, Tayo, and be like you now become more grateful for your account, Tayo. Feels like you nearly took it for granted, even though obviously you got copyrighted. There's not that much to do about it, but use that anger and like hit at your ego. So when you go back your Twitter account and whilst you have this one, you just work harder as before. I know, man, you were cooking like those last 3 days. Yeah, fuck Ligue, man. But now, Tayo, learn from your lesson. For example, me, ever since I got my Twitter ban, what was it, 1.5 year ago or something, I've never gotten banned. I've never received a strike or anything because I've made sure it hasn't happened. Even the YouTube, Tayo, before this YouTube channel, I used to have, I think, two different PSG accounts that both got banned because of copyright. I mean, it was my fault. So, yeah, just you learn from your mistakes. Inshallah. This season will be who's the best moments plays. True Sochi and mentality. Who wants to win it the most? I mean, if we go through the best teams, let's take those six that I mentioned. So PSG, Bayern, Barca, Arsenal, Liverpool, Madrid. PSG, hungry. They want to go back to back. They lost the Club World Cup final. So they have the hunger from that. They've had so many injuries. We haven't been able to show that we're the European champions this season. Something that Tostin sometimes mentions. We should be stat padding, cooking every team, showing that we won the UCL last year. We haven't been able to do that. So despite us winning the UCL last season, we still have so much hunger in this season. Then you got Bayern. Bayern haven't won the UCL since 2020. They want to get back to it. They have, this new rebranded squad under company. Some previous players like Kimmich and Neuer. And Musiala and Goretzka, they were there for their previous UCL win. Harry Kane would like to win as well. But Barca haven't won the UCL in 15 years. They won the semi-final last year. They were licking that UCL final before Acerbi. So all of them three teams have massive hunger. And then you take the tier two. I think Madrid, they've been diabolical last season, diabolical this season, and they would like to cover up with the UCL, but they're not going to be able to cover up. Arsenal. Again, Arsenal would love to win the UCL, the first in their history, but at the moment they have a Premier League to focus on. Liverpool is a cheeky shout. They haven't won the UCL since 2019. They obviously won the Premier League last season. Now they're just fighting for a Champions League spot for next season. So Liverpool, another team that's hungry. So for me, I always look at hunger mentality. Who wants to win it? And out of those six teams, Arsenal and Madrid are the two teams with least. It's more desperation. Madrid is desperation. Again, Sochi. That's my opinion. If you guys want to disagree, I remember last season, Liverpool, for example. I never rated Liverpool as much as other people did, and I was proven right. And I'm just waiting to be proven right again. And I always say this, Sochi. I'm always right. I'm al- I'm I'm either right when it comes to my opinion, or I'm just ahead of everyone else. When it comes to Mbappe, when it comes to Yamal, when it comes to basically every single thing, when it comes to PSG winning the UCL last season. So yeah, I mean that's your opinion. I don't know how you come to that conclusion. I have proven how I come to my own conclusion. I've always said it. Arsenal, they got to focus on the Premier League this season. They're not going to go the double. They're not going to do that. And then, they lack individual ability to win games in the UEFA Champions League. You mentioned it before. Moments. Who scores first? Arsenal struggle to score first and have moments. Yes, sir. Barcola's game. So frustrating to watch. It passes the ball when it needs to. Exactly. Yeah. Just massive overthinking and bad decision making early on. And he's what, 23, 24 now earlier. We're not talking about an 18, 19-year-old. We're talking about Bradley Barcola, who's at his third season at Paris Saint-Germain. So we got to have high expectation. I think a lot of people love Barcola, so they like put this to the side, but I'm going to be there every single game and be honest about him. And he has to do better, man. No news because it's nothing serious. He just got mild knock and we wanted to take precautions. We'll be there. I would love Holland, but again, Holland is more for the future, even that I mentioned in the video. Bodo Glimt? Potentially, man. Shout out to Bodo Glimt. No, I do not. I love the new UCL format. Um, I don't really prefer it that much because I think we should have a higher expectation, but I'll do someone that has been here for a while. And, if he's not performing at the level we expect, we're good. Yeah. True. And even today's game, Socha, I mean, he was screaming the entire game tonight. Like he was mad every single second. This is winning 3-0. And I love that high standard. But no, I think Luis Enrique should just, I don't know, is it a must for him to go to journalists? If I was Lucha, I would go there, answer one question, and then go from there. Or he should do like Trump, Sochi. I'm not answering your fake news, fake news, and not answer any questions. Arsenal will not win it. What, the Premier League? I still think they're the favorite to win the Premier League, but not as by much now that City are closing in. They do. They do. I mean, they were my favorite going into the season. They got a knack and they have the individual ability. Individual ability, especially in the offensive sector, is massive to win a UCL. Because maybe not Salah. They got Verts, they got Ekitike. Maybe Isak will come in towards the end of the season as well. Yeah, I mean, Soshi, you've been very clear with that. I will remember. Uh, he likes to have him as a winger, I guess. But we've seen Barcola movement into central positions. I remember from tonight, Kangeli putting a great key pass into the box, and Barcola was there. So we're seeing Luis Enrique pushing him more towards central positions sometime. Then Barca just didn't. That Barca won't even make past round 16. Again, if Barca face PSGs, they could potentially go out there. But if they face Newcastle, I see Barca winning. Then they will have a tough quarterfinal potentially versus Liverpool, which will decide whoever between those two go further. I mean, I have Liverpool higher than Arsenal in my like Champions League ranking. It's not called confidence; it's called arrogance and delusion. Chelsea fans, still haven't accepted they've become an American investment fund, and they're still living off that Club World Cup final victory, man. True. And they're not a team that is scared to go away. They've been to the Galatasaray Stadium. They've been to Metropolitano. Great mentality. Yeah, no, Serie A is definitely past its best peak years and so on. Who should be starting UCL? Marquinhos. Marquinhos should be the starter for the rest of the season in Champions League, and Safonov should be the starter as the goalkeeper for the rest of the season. But hopefully Zabarny performs well in all the minutes and opportunities he gets. Yeah, we could have again, like we only had four big chances on football, but in my opinion, we had like six, seven big chances because so many times we get interest into the box and they don't take the shot, so it doesn't count as a big chance. But we had so many final third and box entries this game. True, 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 true. But I mean, he should do something, man. Because I would just wouldn't answer the questions, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, when it comes to passing ability early on and just overall game, a lot of it is due to confidence. I think the more confidence Zabarni will get, the better passing ability from him. Like similar with Chevalier. Chevalier is a very great ball playing keeper, but we haven't really seen it because he's not playing at the best confidence. But yeah, he did put. Who was it to? Was it the Hakimi one? Is that Warren? Yeah, no, I remember it was a very good ball. Yeah, it was to the side. Yeah, it was Hakimi. Then Hakimi passed it to fucking Gonzalo, and it's going very good. Great asking Zainab. Hopefully, it's going well for you too as well. You know, I was used to Ramadan in the summer, and now it being in the winter. You know, here in Sweden, we can eat like 5 p.m. So it's been really easy and chill, actually. 100%. And I think a lot of it has to do with, what the club has become. They've become just like what Arsenal is. They didn't used to be. They had Roman Abrahamovich. He was a winner. And now they become this top four team. Oh, let's celebrate top four. In comparison to Lucho, yeah, I've seen. I think someone posted it. It was very long, so I only watched like the first 2 minutes. And companies discussed before. I think his dad or something as well. So he feels way more connected to it. It nearly feels personal for company. And he also watched the game as well, so he saw the situation live. I commented on like a Brazilian account. I thought of making a video about it. Maybe I will do. I don't know. It's not as relevant now, but I completely understand people's opinion that Luis Enrique should be responsible for the position he has and talk about good and bad stuff. So yeah, maybe Luis Enrique. No, you know what? Luis Enrique should take a better stance. But I even saw in 2016 something happened to Neymar, his player, and he didn't even talk about it. So maybe he just wants to distance himself from that kind of stuff. I haven't seen him really talk about any like big issue apart from something that happens to PSG or in a football game. I mean, yeah, people. I don't know, man. It's also that Mbappe has dropped in form ever since Arbeloa came in, and Vinny has gotten better. But yeah, the Mbappe discussions is so funny because people are just so reactionary. Like I've said, Mbappe's been cooked for a while, and them instead, it's 1 second he's Ballon d'Or, one other second his ass. Give me Chelsea, man. We gotta humble them. I would maybe say Chelsea. I would maybe obviously when Tuchel came in, they stopped looking like an underdog. But before Tuchel came in, they looked like an underdog that season when they won the UCL recently. Before that, maybe Chelsea back in 2011, two underdog Champions League victories. Yeah. Who are you talking about? Like Zabarri needs time, 100%, 100%. Like what Pancho did, obviously João Neves did it as well. But again, I've also said it's a different pressure, Ninja. When Pacho and Neves joined us, it's a different kind of pressure. Zabarni and Chevalier joined the best team in the world, the European champions. No, Fabregas is a very good manager. An elite left winger like Diaz, Vini, Rafinha will annihilate Mike. I know Sochi, but honestly, I put the ball in Zabarni's court. He just hasn't been good enough to put himself in a position. Whereas Marquinhos in 2026 has actually been really good. We know about Marquinhos. We know about his age. We know he's the weakness in our team, just like he was last season. But I guess Hakimi, Pacho, and Safanov gotta help him. Neves as well. I don't think so early on. I think obviously he could have done better. I remember that opportunity with Hakimi could have gone a little bit better. Could have gotten an assist, created a really big chance for Barcola in the second half as well. And I also loved his switches. He played more as a midfielder. When he comes on as an attacker. He looks for goals. He looks for big chances all the time. But this game, he just played as a midfielder. Him and Dro and Warren Zara Emre. I really enjoys that midfield. So yeah, no, I thought it was good. The most boring UCL final. I mean, there been some in recent times. City Chelsea was a really boring one, but obviously, it got to be Liverpool Spurs. I mean, that was a terrible Champions League final. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I knew Bayern was gonna win. Yeah, Neves' pass could have been better there. I think he was overthinking a little bit. He wanted to go as ahead to the defenders and then let it off to Kvara. Kvara went to there a little bit earlier. No, no, no. I will always support Donnarumma. A great player, great person. I hope the best for him at Manchester City and the Italian national team, but he's not gonna come back. Understandable. Yeah, he's a good player. Scored 2 goals today. Obviously, not the preliminary job of a left back, but he's a good player. No, I think people that go to the game would take any player's jersey, man, including Gonzalo. Um, when I heard the term passenger, I think more like he doesn't do off the ball, like Mbappe pressing. He doesn't do anything off the ball. That's what I think of when I heard passenger. It's really hard winning a UCL, but I still think you can win a UCL with a passenger, or as you said, I guess you're talking about Marky here as a weak link. I still think because I mean, when you look at other teams, they got weak links. Barca, I mean, their entire system is a weak link, and their defense is an entire weak link, and their double pivot midfielder De Jong is a weak link. You look at Bayern. Bayern obviously have less weaknesses. I think Ta on his day is a weakness. I think Neuer is definitely past his best. He's a weakness. Good fullbacks. Upamecano, I like him a lot, but he's also a weakness when it comes to his Boza moments. Midfield, I think Kimmich could potentially be somewhat of a weak link for Bayern. Maybe if Pavlovic as well, not the best and most experienced player, can have a weakness in a big game. Mm, we know about Kane and Musiala in big games as well. Madrid, I mean, that team is filled with weaknesses. Arsenal, I mean, they don't have an attack, and they have Arteta as their manager. So, Sochi, I think we want a perfect PSG. So we don't like the weakness we have in Marquinhos in the team. But I mean, when you look at all the other teams, they have weaknesses as well. Um, Bayern were in really great form, and we Fabian and Dembuz just came back from injury. They weren't at their best. Hakimi obviously injured and everything. Bayern just wanted to win that game more than us, and yeah, we'll be better prepared next time we face. What is it? Atalanta, Juventus probably both get knocked out. Napoli already out. Inter, ooh, yeah, Inter might get, yeah, yeah. Actually, yeah, it looks like no Serie A team in the round of 16. Mm, no, he should be back. He should be back. It's not a major injury. Yeah, but I don't think he could be our best player, but I think he could become a much better player and version of himself if he had better decision making and better clinicality in the final third and overall and so on. But I wouldn't say best player. Like people talk too much about the potential of Barcola, the if Barcola all the time. It reminds me a little bit of how Barca fans were talking about Dembele, but not really, because like Dembele I don't know, peak Dembele was still a much better player than Barcola peak before peak Barcola. Yeah, I mean, I would be there to clown them because I saw so many Premier League fans hyping up having 4 teams in the top 8 and 6 teams going through. Uh, so yeah, no, we'll be there to cook them for sure. Yeah, I mean, he has to get used to Ligue and physicality. Oh, Bayern. Um, I didn't watch the game, but I think Arsenal had a really good performance and Bayern had a really good performance. I mean, if you take out, the mistake from Neuer at the end for the Martinelli goal, it's a tied 2-1 game, and you say knockout game is a two-legged tie. And I think maybe Bayern weren't really prepared for how Arsenal were going to play. I saw Kimmich in his post-match press conference saying Arsenal don't want to play football. I think when we faced Arsenal last season, Lucho had done his homework, and he was ready to play against Arsenal how you play against Arsenal. And that's why we won so easily as well. So I think Company will do his homework for the next game. True. No, PSG Lyon are always great games, and excited for that game too. Do you think teams are better equipped against us because they know us too well? Same as happening to Barca. The whole world know our system. Not really, because Sochi, when it comes to Barca, it's inflicting damage on their system. It's basically, playing against their weakness. PSG, there isn't really a weakness you play against Sochi. It's more that you play a game where you nullify PSG. That's not what they do against Barca. They don't nullify Barca. They penetrate Barca. Against PSG, we've seen teams that are trying to nullify us, compacting the midfield, playing more defensive, not pressing that high. Because we saw the goals we scored in the UCL knockouts they just last season. A lot of them were counter-attack goals. So a lot of teams just don't want to give PSG transition. So they're trying to nullify us. And obviously that's where Luis Enrique and the players come in. Luis Enrique trying to find holes and make himself more unpredictable, and the players using their individual ability to compensate for that. So I would say it's different. I would say PSG, they try to nullify us instead of like going out where weakness is something. Maybe. I still think they will go through. Not Club Brugge. I don't think Club Brugge will make it. We got Mr. Junior here.
Hello.
Joining us here. Welcome, Junior.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
So just a cheeky game against Metz. Rotation game.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of went as I wanted. I'm like, let's go play this game, boost the confidence, 3-0 win. Got that, and I guess move on to the next game. There's not much else to go and speak about it. Like, I think we played fine enough. As you said, like I saw your post game, you said like they didn't have a single shot, no chances. So just sort of move on.
Yeah, and especially with Arsenal losing, it felt like a 6-pointer. Felt like a bigger victory than it was as well. A lot of players got rested as well. In any like individual performances you want to talk about?
I thought Warren was really good today.
Yes, sir.
I thought Warren played really, really well today. Like, I was thinking have we potentially like misprofiled him? As in, I just thought that in that deeper role he looked really, really comfortable. But then again, you can also have to guess it's also Metz, so. Just because
do you remember what Tosin used to say?
With regards to Warren.
Yeah, so he said he always says Warren is he's a leader, he's a conductor. In the sense of he's a 6. He says maybe we've been I mean, he is good as a box to box, but he said maybe Warren's the best. The way we can get the best out of Warren is playing him more as a 6, where he's doing basically everything in the game. Because today he was very good. I mean, it was mostly in the first half because the second half we were just Lucha balling it. But in that first half, with the ball and off the ball, he was really good. Great assist for the duo goal, and had some other good passes as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could maybe that, but I guess you could also say in his youth when he was coming up, he was higher up. He was more of a box to box. So. As in, it does, just because you come out Doué was a box to box, going through the academy, and now he's basically a winger, so it doesn't necessarily mean all that much.
No, it just my two best Warren performances was this, and then you remember the Strasbourg game, the 3-3. He also played as a 6 in that game.
True, yeah, and
had a similar type of performance. And for me, it's a good thing because we can give Vitinha some rest. Especially in these lower Ligue games, because Vitinha, it would be really nice if you can rest him and so on.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think him. I mean, what did you think about Ramos today?
I'm so happy this is not a Premier League channel, because if this was a Premier League channel, Junior would be like, yo, Gonçalo, 2 GA, 1 goal, 1 assist. But no, his over. I didn't like his selfishness as well, Junior. You know, in the entire game, our players kept creating chances for him,
Hmm.
like feeding him as a child.
Yeah.
And then when he got an opportunity where he could have looked for a link up, a 1-2, anything, he was trying. You remember when Dro did that flick?
Yeah.
Barcola gives it to Gonçalo. And then I see Gonçalo trying to go through three players. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, even Dembuz wouldn't dare to do that.
Yeah.
Even Dembuz, like, I don't know, it was just everywhere, man. Heavy touches. There was once I remember Warren, no, it was Zabarni to Hakimi.
Hmm.
Hakimi gave it to Gonçalo outside of the box, and he just takes a heavy touch running into the defender.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember. So the thing with Gonzalo, I think he would do well at another club. It's just that club's not PSG. But it's also like he'll do that and then he'll go and score crucial goals for us as well. So
Yep.
as in, if he's happy to stay as a super sub, I'm sort of happy to keep him like that.
Yeah, he's just a Barcola is a frustrating player to watch, Junior, because we know he can do so much better. Gonçalo is just frustrating to watch, man. Just
Yeah.
overall, like, because I know, like, this is his level. Like, I don't think he will get that much better. But obviously, a very amazing goal he scored. Like,
Yeah,
that's a
very
number 9 type goal.
Yeah.
1-2 touches, uses the movement. And I think GA wise, obviously, with all of the injuries we've had, Gonçalo Ramos, well, he's actually dropped now. He has, I don't know if today's game has been updated. No. So he has 11 goals and 1 assist so far this season. It's good having those squad players.
I heard that in the I mean, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but maybe in Ligue it is that he's our joint top scorer now.
Yeah, because I saw that Barcola. Yeah, so Dembuz has 8 goals in Ligue 1. Barcola just scored, so he has 8. No, Gonçalo only has 4 in the league.
So I think it might be all competitions. I mean, maybe they.
Yeah, no, you're right. All competitions, Dembuz got 11. Gonçalo just scored, so he has 11 as well.
Okay, there you go.
Gonçalo scored 0.75, and Dembuz got 0.79. Plus, Dembuz got pens. So if we look at goals minus pens, Gonçalo actually has the best goals per 90 in all competitions for PSG this season.
Fair enough.
No, he's a good squad player to have around. It's just it's hard not to have an agenda against him.
Yeah. It's bizarre. Like, do you think he could potentially become the next Fabian Ruiz, or no? You don't see it in the sense of like the trajectory of his PSG career.
No, he's been here for long enough, and I've never seen like his potential like that. I remember I overhyped him massively before he joined. Said like baby Benzema and stuff. But I think his mentality is also very questionable. Like, I always look at mentality as well because it's a huge part of a person and a player. For example, Barcola Jr. I think when you look at his raw talent and ability, he should be like a top 3 winger in the world. But I think his mentality is what leads to him overthinking. You could even say for Dembuz Jr. back in the day, his mentality wasn't it. And I think when he married his wife, that's where his mentality like got elevated. And we saw everything. Like one Zara Emre, as soon as he breaks up with his girl, he becomes one of our best players. So definitely there is a pattern. When I look at Gonçalo, my issue with him is his mentality. When he comes off the bench, Junior, great mentality. Because he knows, he's like, I'm only here to score that tap in, to get that goal. But when he starts games, I don't know where he thinks his prime Ruud Gullit. He's gonna dribble past players. He's taking heavy touches. Be self-aware. I think Gonçalo is not self-aware of his limited talent.
Yeah, no.
But I agree. Yeah, he scored a goal today, got an assist. So yeah. But Barcola, I was mad with today, Junior. Like
mad.
So, yeah, he's dribbling off the wing, Junior, and I want to, support him back my butt. I'm like, Barcola. And then he shoots it to the stand. And I'm like, Barcola.
Were you talking about like the curler that he missed, that first one?
Or yeah, he had like 2 curlers. Like
the first one was like it was all right.
Okay, the first one was all right. There was another one
that he sent into orbit. That one, yeah.
And there was one time I remember Gonçalo gave him a good link-up pass, and then he fakes the goalkeeper in the box. Like, just take the shot, Barcola. What are you doing, man? Or once, when he cooked, he went inside, played a 1-2 with Warren,
Mm-hmm.
and then he tries to feed Gonzalo. I'm like, Barcola, stop, man. Don't baby feed that dude. Just take the shot, Barcola.
I mean, on that, yeah, I agree. I think was that the one where Luis Enrique was like really pissed off afterwards? Like you saw him on the bench, the reaction.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him pissed off multiple times.
Yeah, too.
It's
He's
very
really
hard.
pissed off today. But like, I remember that one. I'm like, yeah, just as in I don't know. Do you think maybe though that because I thought today he was like really like selfless, like trying to look for the pass a lot. Do you think perhaps the Dembele comments are having an adverse effect on the entire team? Like now that he said that, now everyone he wants to like is not trying to go and like take the shot and being selfish.
Yeah, because you could say that for like the Kangi Hakimi one as well, if you remember.
Yeah.
Hakimi gives it, can trying to give it back.
Yeah.
The thing is, it wasn't just Demboo's. Like Vitinha said the same.
Yeah.
Like we got to play like last season, and then Neves actually said the same before the Monaco game in his press conference.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe even Lucius probably hinted at stuff like that. So yeah, no, I think there's some of a pressure towards playing more as a team, making the extra pass. But I think that's always been Barcola's problem. Like he shoots when he should pass, and he passes when he should shoot. I think that's more like a Barcola individual thing.
Yeah.
Like he overthinks in the final third. Because you remember in the beginning of last season in Ligue 1, his goal versus Lille, his goal versus Montpellier, his goal versus was it Le Havre away?
Yeah.
That was like ice cold Barcola. He wasn't overthinking. Like as soon as he got the ball, he knew what to do. Poof, bottom right. It looked so easy for him. So I think Barcola sometimes like he slows his touches. He starts overthinking. Should I pass? Should I shoot? Should I? And that's a very bad like position to be in as an attacker when you start just overthinking your game and so on. You should just be like selfless. But I've always had the same opinion about Barcola. Like I like him a lot, but like he gotta. I'm happy he scored 2 goals in 2026. Due obviously. And Santo also said, tweeted this, that Dewey said, I left as a precaution. Everything was fine and everything. But yeah, good goal. Good goal from Dewey, great run.
I thought he messed it up. He did the same thing against Rennes.
True.
Like, I mean, I'm not even sure, like, if because I know the keeper, like, sort of deflected it a bit. If he doesn't touch it, I'm not sure he scores. And then also Hakimi was right there. Like if he missed that,
yeah,
like it reminds me of again, I guess that one it's more for because I think he has the right to shoot there. But remember, I think it was the second goal that he scored against Leverkusen in the Champions League.
Yeah. I was like, pass to Kvara.
Yeah, and he just took it himself. As in, like it's like I know like Endrick scored like a similar goal from Madrid last year.
Stuttgart.
Like, Stuttgart. Yeah. Where like he scores fair enough, but if he misses that, you're getting an absolute earful from your other attackers.
Yeah. It's a position of that. You miss, it's cooked. You score, it's good. But Due had to score that, and he's still. I mean, Due 1v1. I think he should be taking that. Maybe has to improve a little bit when it comes to his 1v1 decision making.
Yeah.
But happy got the goal. Zabarni Juniors, cheeky game. I mean, we did play Metz, the worst team in Ligue 1. But decent game for Zabarni.
No comment. We moved. I mean, he was all right. He was fine. Like, there's just nothing much to go and do.
Sometimes he was like, because Hakimi pushed up a lot. Sometimes he was put on an island with Tadashvili or some Georgian dude. I was thinking about you for the Sporting goal. No, Zabarni, someone go and help him. That clip is like ingrained in my mind. But thankfully it didn't get cooked. I really enjoyed Lucas as well, and I've been enjoying Lucas Hernandez this entire season. The only issue is his wage, because he has a wage of like one of the best starters in the team. He can't continue having that wage.
I mean, I agree with you with the wage, but I also think like, you know how I guess Lucas really is the one that brings like that grinta to the team. Yeah. But I also think like he can just like lose it, like the red card against Bayern
Spurs
in the Club World Cup against Spurs. Like, yeah, I should feel like in fact like both the Hernandez brothers just have that like they can just like lose it, just like that. But No, I think he was good. He was all right.
Again, I don't think we have an issue of not taking risks. Scored 3 goals today. Could have scored more if our players had better decision making in the final third. Had nothing to. I mean, the 70% of the game passing, that's what makes us so good. When you keep the ball away from the opposition, you frustrate the opponent, and that's also how we defend. Just like Pep's peak Barca, they defended by having the ball, and we just fucking won a UCL playing this tactic. Like, it feels so great, Junior. Because I remember last season, people questioned maybe Lucho's tactics, playing a false nine, not having a six, and then we won a UCL. So like all of those agendas and gimmicks got thrown out of the window.
Speaking of,
yeah,
all right, go on.
No, go you.
No, mine's sort of unrelated, but go on.
I was just gonna say like Draw. What do you think of him?
Yeah, that's really gonna go afterwards. But I thought he had a cheeky cameo. He had that really, really nice, back heel pass. The nice sequence where he was fouled, like got tripped up at the back. I think he's looking good, getting touches in. I think he just needs to get. I think one of the things I listened quickly to the interview that he had on the interviews after the game. He's like, the commentator just said like, oh, maybe it's just like. I think he asked Lucho the question with regards to Dro, and it's like, I'd be curious to see what you think. I think he said like he looks really good. Obviously, technically he's superb, but it's just like the physicality of aspect of it. I think it just needs to improve on that.
True.
I think that's generally speaking. I think that's an aspect, honestly, that people like really overlook about Ligue 1 overall. Like Ligue 1 is a really physical league, like
athletic. Like you got to be quick, you got to be strong.
Yeah. Like,
and it's also very technical. I think it's probably the most like balanced league. Like La Liga is too technical.
Yeah,
Premier League, it's too like duels. And then you got Ligue 1.
Just running, run.
Gives you a massive like in terms of everything. Like you have to be good at every single thing.
Yeah. I know, I agree. But no, I thought Joe looked good.
Yeah, and we just gotta cook. This thing, like, I wouldn't be talking as much about Draw Jr. and tweet about him as much if I didn't see Barca fans crying about him constantly. Like, I do it on purposely. Just kidding.
Rage baiting them.
No, I don't know about rage. It's more about response. Oh, you got because, like, for example, Junior, the Rennes game, we lost 3-1. It wasn't Draw came in last 20 minutes. He wasn't at fault for the goals or anything. And then I see Barca fans cooking him. I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah, all right. We'll make sure to cook you.
Dang, that's for one aspect of me is like, even though I want Chelsea in the round of 16, if we do get Barca,
we won't mind that.
Dro scoring at the Camp Nou. Dang. Do you think he gets booed by the fans?
Maybe because they weren't really heated about that decision.
Yeah.
But a draw goal. I also made this tweet because you remember a lot of Barca fans like questioned the decision in terms of playing time, and they used to like use previous PSG. Like, yeah, if Draw joined us junior in 2018, it wouldn't be a smart move.
Yeah,
because we didn't give but now. So I made this one right here. Playing time at Barca, 2,700 available minutes, 150 minutes played. That's only 5%. PSG so far already 450 available minutes, 99 minutes played. Obviously, Mayulu and Fabian have both basically been injured ever since he joined, which are the competitors for his positions. But he's already played a good amount of minutes. Got in his first. He only started 2 games at Barca in 6 months. Already 1 start at PSG. So as soon as he does that, and I love that Draw as well has said this. PSG is the best team for young players, and I joined to play football. So I just keep spamming this one.
Thing is, it's so funny how like it's just copium about like I remember when he started that Champions League. Who was it against?
Olympiacos?
Yeah, Olympiacos, that game. And he got an assist. Like they were going, oh my goodness, Joe, look at Joe, look how good he is. Look at this guy's a free shirt. All of a sudden now, oh, you guys are overrating him. He's not even that good. He's not even that good of a talent. Okay, sure. I think they're just hoping.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know whether they do that to themselves. I also saw the stats, which was crazy. PSG, okay, PSG have won 7 straight Ligue 1 games at home. First time under Luis Enrique.
Really?
I would, and I even quote said, very surprised seeing this. Like, really?
As in, I mean, this goes on to the thing I was gonna say earlier, but I've been like doing. You remember the thing last time I told you that I could potentially get invited to one of those like
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
PSG fan things? Yeah. So basically, I heard back, and so I sort of have an idea of the topics, and one of the is like, oh, Ligue 1 is a farmers league, so on and so forth. And so for this, like, I went like really, really technical, and so I looked at like looking at how dominant we've been, like since the Qatari takeover, and actually,
Yes.
like statistically, we've actually been like the least dominant champions. Like, you know how they say, oh, you step, like the only one big outlier is when we
15,
like won it
16.
in 15-16 by like 31 points. But even if you go and look at like the percentage of points we've gotten, it's not all that common. Like even before that, like PSG have only gotten over like what 90 points. Like we don't get over 90 points often. It happened obviously with 96 points. We've got 93 points. I think we got like 90 points.
Yeah.
But like look at in the Prem, like City 100 points, 99, 97, 90, 95, 93. La Liga 100. Like you've had Barcelona and Real Madrid get 100 points. I think Barcelona and Real Madrid in the last like since PSG's takeover. In fact, let me actually go and look. Like they've had the most amount of times where like a team has gone like over 90 points to win the title.
Mm-mm-mm.
So I mean PSG, like obviously we win Ligue 1 routinely, but we're not nearly as dominant as people make it out to be.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. I think PSG are obviously very dominant and should be very dominant when you look at the quality and the economic disparity between us and Ligue 1 teams. But I think they disrespect how Ligue 1 teams. Like
Exactly,
they
yeah.
think they're much worse. I think one thing which is somewhat understandable, Junior. I think most fans they don't watch the leagues. They don't
Mhm.
even have information on the league. What they do instead, they look how they do in Europe. And French teams have on a consistent. The thing is, the French thing, Junior, it's not even a recent thing. I think French teams have played 17 European finals, and they've only won two: Marseille in '93 and PSG in
Oh, and
2025.
like like UEFA, like European Cup finals.
Europa League, Champions League, all the we had Monaco, for example, in 2003 versus Porto. They lost.
Oh, is this
Marseille
just like
versus
Champions League? Because I mean PSG won like the
no,
cup.
no. Oh, yeah, but okay. So maybe Champions League, Europa League, because those Cup Winners' Cup and so on, there were like additional cups that don't exist anymore.
Okay,
And then you
okay.
had Marseille. What was it in
2018,
18
yeah, 17,
against
18.
Atletico Madrid?
Oh yeah.
So like French teams have in European stage have been battling all the time. It's nearly a French thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's how they determine the quality of Ligue 1 teams. Obviously, now they're improving Ligue 1 teams overall.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
no,
think
I agree.
one of the big issues is it's the how they go and do in Europe, which okay, fair. But yeah. But yeah, I've got sort of like they gave me sort of like an idea or like of the things that we're gonna go and discuss. The thing is that some of the points are like really, I don't know, bizarre. Like, so one of the things or potential prompts would be like Ousmane Dembele wouldn't have won the Ballon d'Or if he played in the Premier League. So I'm supposed to argue in favor of that. And I'm like, I don't know. I like the prompt is like
Wait,
I think
what?
there's so Ousmane Dembele would not have won the Ballon d'Or if he played in the Premier League.
But he still had the same UCL campaign.
That's the problem though. So that's all the prompt is. So that's what I'm like. There's too much for interpretation. So it's like if he still has a UCL campaign, he does wins the Champions League, then I'd say yeah. If you say he
Yeah,
does that, but
because
he
that's what Ballon d'Or voters. I mean, you can go across every single Ballon d'Or season
Mhm.
and say, look at the top five. All of these players cooked either at the Champions League or like World Cup, Euros, Copa America. People don't rate top five leagues like that. It's like a Premier League delusion. But I don't know. Yeah, as you said, it's a very
like prompt is it's I mean like I'm not even sure like if you go and it also depends like which Premier League team does he play for as well. Like if he plays for I don't know, Chelsea, or I don't not even like
Well, what is it supposed to mean? Like Dembele wouldn't be this good if he was playing in the Premier League? He legit just cooks
I
every
think
single
that's the
Premier League
point.
side in the UCL.
Because the thing is, so the prompt is me going and saying this, so I would be the one, or they like the referee would be saying that, and I would be arguing in favor of it. But
No,
it's
no,
like,
no, no. Say no, man.
no,
Say
but like
I'm there.
I asked to like change that prompt specifically. And then there's like another weird one. It's like if Kylian Mbappe joined any top Premier League team, they would win the title. I'm like, I mean, Mbappe is not a PSG player anymore, and so like even though I probably would agree with the take, but like I don't see like what the point of me
It's like
going in
they're
this.
trying to say you up, look like a
No,
bit
but there's
clownish or something.
I mean, there's others that are so like so there's 7 prompts, and I've asked to like change a couple. So like the first one was like PSG's all-time legends list clears any Premier League club. So I remember last time we came, I said like the entire Premier League. So I've changed it like okay, just talking about any Premier League team specifically. So not like the entire Premier League as a whole, but any individual club. So Chelsea versus PSG, PSG is better. Chelsea, Arsenal, PSG is better. Any individual team. I think that one is probably actually. I probably think that I don't think that PSG lose in like an all-time 11, and even if I were to go and like here, they're being like really generous. They're going and saying like any players, any legends. So like I can count like Messi, I can count
Dani Alves,
Alves,
Ronaldinho.
Buffon, all these Sergio Ramos.
I
So
mean, yeah.
I'm just gonna go with that. What's the other one? An interesting one is okay. PSG will become the first team since Real Madrid to win back-to-back Champions Leagues.
Oh,
That's
okay, yeah, that's a really good one.
that's gonna be an interesting one. But as in, I was just like doing a bit of research, like thinking of okay, let me anticipate like what are people gonna go and rebut against this, and sort of trying to prepare strategies, especially for that one. Because I think I know what people would go and say is like, oh, like look at how PSG have started off.
Okay, let's try. Wait, I'm gonna be stupid. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm stupid now. All right, you start, Jeff, because you say the quote, and then I try to debate it.
Yeah, so PSG will become the first team since Real Madrid to win back-to-back Champions Leagues.
PSG Farmers League. Okay, wait, I'm too down there. Wait, we've seen PSG this season. They do not look like they're gonna go back to back. We saw PSG versus Chelsea in the Club World Cup final last season. They lost 3-0, got absolutely humiliated. Dembele is not the same anymore. He's back to default settings, getting injured all the time. Why do you think PSG will go back to back? It's clear it was a one-off season, purple patch.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, PSG was like the second youngest team ever to win the Champions League behind Ajax. If you go and you look at it, like, so it means like we're not even at our peak, and the PSG players are only going to get better. And then on top of that, you go and you look at the fact that the players that PSG had, we've still kept most of the players, you know, except for Donnarumma. But other than that, the squad overall has stayed intact. Not to mention the fact that PSG completely dominated Europe last year. PSG's Champions League was not, you know, a scrappy win and whatnot. They completely dominated. They beat all the best teams, and the run was definitely not lucky. If you go and you look at currently, I think I looked at the UEFA Champions League club coefficients for this season. If you go and you look at the top 8, PSG either this year or last season has been every single team in the top 8, obviously apart from themselves. So we beat Madrid, we beat Inter, we beat Bayern, we beat Liverpool, we beat City, we beat Barcelona, we beat Arsenal. Every single one of those teams within the last 2 seasons has fallen to PSG. You can't go and beat all of those teams over that time span and be called lucky. And if you want to go and say, oh, it was a one-off season, so on and so forth. Well, again, we just beat all those big sides, and just to go and show that it was not luck. And with regards to the fact that we've struggled this season, so I would simply go and say the fact that like titles are not won in February or January, they're won in May. And we've seen even Real Madrid, when they went three-peating and whatnot, for 2 of those years that they won it, in 16-17 and 17-18, they didn't even top their group. They finished second. In 16-17, they lost to Dortmund. They finished behind Dortmund. In 17-18, they finished behind Spurs. And then even in the, I believe, 15-16, even though they won their group, in the quarterfinals, they went 2-0 down to Wolfsburg in the first leg. So again, the fact that you start off slow does not mean you're going to finish bad. Well, don't forget, don't end up being your goalkeeper argument. I guess that's true, but you can go and say also Real Madrid. I mean, they lost Casillas and ultimately we're fine. And you could even go and say they got rid of Keylor Navas. Also, it took him a couple years of growing pains, but eventually they then went on to win it with Courtois, and Courtois was a major component in them winning it. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that Safonov or Chevalier are going to be Courtois level, but you gotta give them time. True, yeah, they did win with Lunin playing for most of the year. So no, I think PSG. The thing with PSG is just going to be making sure to go and peak at the right time. I think the one biggest critique that I could potentially face is the injuries for PSG, and you could potentially argue maybe squad depth. But even then, like I go and say, like PSG this year was able to go away to Barcelona with their youth league team and outplay Barca and beat them. Not gonna lie, PSG doing playoffs again and facing a French team is wild. What back-to-back script is UEFA trying to cook? We'll see. We'll see. Do you give me your PSG Mount Rushmore? For me, I think Marquis was on. I think who else? Ooh, I think Thiago Silva goes on. I think Verratti goes on. And that's going to be difficult for number 4. I would go and say Mbappe, but then now it's Mount Rushmore is like the most impact. Is Mbappe? Dang, I feel like I'm missing someone. Also, you can go like more recent, like Dembouz. I think Dembouz needs to be here a bit longer for him to get into onto the Mount Rushmore. But can maybe argue Zlatan. Neymar is a decent shout. Yeah. But I think the 3 that I said are like pretty guaranteed. I'd say are Marquinhos, Thiago Silva, Verratti. Mbappe isn't more impactful than Neymar, buddy. I mean, they were both there during the period of most success. You know why you're showing your face? I'm working right now, and I don't want to turn on my camera right now.
Yo, Junior, my bad. I'm soon done.
No,
just
no
helping
worries.
parents out with something.
Yeah, that's fine. Zlatan is a show. I think Zlatan. Is Zlatan a bigger or legendary than like a? Would he go above like a Dembele? I don't know. Junior, what do you think is the hardest position to play? I guess it depends how you want to go and see hard, because you can go and say like I think like keeper is really difficult to play. Like if you have a bad keeper, you're cooked. Then you can say like technically, probably midfield. Then you could also say like physically, you can say playing as a fullback is really difficult because you have to go up and down. You have to have crazy cardio, and just how demanding the I think I'd probably go and say fullback. The modern fullback, where I think is extremely demanding because you have to be basically have the role of a wing back and get up. Yeah. Someone's a striker because scoring is the hardest thing in a game. I don't know. I think goalkeeper is the most important, but I don't know if that means it's most difficult. Like, I guess it depends what you mean by, like, if you mean by most difficult, as in like you take an average normal person. Like, I'm thinking if you took the average just normal bloke and you put them in that position, where would it be most significant? Where you'd see, like, I don't know. I think goalkeeper is the position where if you have a bad goalkeeper, like you're really cooked. Whereas you can have a bad player in midfield, but you can compensate by the other players around them. But yeah, I'd probably go and say fullback still. Does Cavani still play for Boca? I have no idea. Let's have a look. Ridinson, Cavani. I think he does. Yeah, he's still at Boca. Junior, do you think the striker position has fallen off this decade compared to the decade when we had the likes of Suarez, Forlan, Zlatan, Falcao, Lewa? Well, I think we're just not seeing the traditional, typical number 9 role. So I guess in that sense, you could definitely make that case. So if that's your question, then yeah, I think you're seeing less than before. So yeah, I guess yeah. But I just think also the role is different. I think you're seeing a lot more players like Mbappe's or Dembele's who play in that, like, are put as the number 9 on paper, but do not play that number 9 role. Did Stefanos cook today like he always does? I mean, he didn't really have anything to do. He didn't, like, Metz didn't have a single shot on target, so I suppose so.
All right, Junior, I'm back.
All right.
My bad before. My mom called me. I heard in the beginning you were talking about, like, we had the youngest squad. What more stuff would you say? Just as a summary?
Yeah, so I said, like, we had the youngest squad, that we had, like, a really dominant European campaign last year. So I went back and looked at, if you go and you look at, like, UEFA's club coefficient, you look at the top 8, PSG, either this season or last season, has been every single team in the top 8. So we've beaten Madrid, we've beaten Bayern, we've beaten Inter, we've beaten Liverpool, we've beaten City, we've beaten Barca. I've not gone and done, a history lesson of beforehand, but that's a pretty impressive catalog of teams you've been able to go and beat. And basically every single one of those games, bar, maybe Arsenal, you can go and say that PSG, like, was the better team and deserved to go and beat them.
No, Arsenal too, man. Like, they're gonna do their XG bullshit.
Yeah,
like I felt at ease versus Arsenal was easier than Villa.
Yeah, that's not really crazy to say. No,
it was the only time where we won both games as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And we controlled, like, the only thing where I was like a little bit feared was, like, that first 15 minutes at the back.
Yeah,
and that was due to fucking throw-ins and corners.
Their own gimmick. Even then, like, I think, obviously, like, okay, obviously we'll go and say the XG and stuff, but, like, you can go and, like, also say, like, PSG could have had the tie done. Like, in the first leg, the Barcola chance where he drags it wide, when
Gonzalo.
Gonzalo hits the bar. The
Maybe we could
second
have
leg,
gotten a penalty on Kvara
yeah, the
from
penalty on
Timber.
Kvara, the penalty we missed in the second leg. We still scored 3 goals past Arsenal. Like, all right, fine. But even then, like, yeah, that's the only one that you can go and say, okay, arguably. But every other time, like, we outplayed Barca, we outplayed Inter, we outplayed Liverpool, we outplayed City, we outplayed Bayern. Bayern, like, when we beat them in the Club Cup, that's the only
Yeah.
one. And you could only probably actually, over the last 2 seasons, we played them 3 times, we lost twice, we won 1. So you can go and say, okay, fair enough, Bayern, you can say they're probably the only team that can, match us. But everybody else, though, like, we were pretty clearly better then. The one thing that I did anticipate, though, that they're probably going to go and talk about is like the fact that we've struggled with injuries and that we've not been able, like, we've struggled to begin, or we sort of petered out in the Champions League. And I mean, the thing I regret to say that is like, well, Real Madrid, like when they win their three-peat, like they weren't cruising the entire way. Like in
Yeah,
16,
they
17,
finished second in their
yeah,
group
twice.
stage.
Yeah, in 16, 17, 17, 18, they finished second in their group. And then in 15, 16, when they did top their group, I think it was when we were with them in that year, they like in the quarterfinals lost 2-0 to Wolfsburg. So like the fact it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But
Good luck, man. Good luck.
yeah.
Because I know they're probably gonna say some like stupid arguments, man, and oh fuck, man, the Dembele disrespect. Because when I saw that clip, what was it? Stand up where Lamine Yamal is the best player in the world, and everyone just sat
And
down.
then nobody put their hand, yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is an unserious. Apart from the Arsenal dude, what he said, I mean, made fair when he didn't stand up from the beginning. He said I heard form or something, but overall, yeah, I don't know. People are, it feels, with the Yamal stuff, Junior, nearly feels like people are afraid to speak up.
Well, I mean,
Because if they speak up, people will call them, "Oh my god, you're delusional! Oh my god, you don't what? You don't rate Lamine Yamal versus Inter second leg the best performance I've seen."
I mean, funnily you say that. I'm gonna like one of the takes that so one of the segments that I'm gonna be filming is like a fan jury one. So where you go and you say your unpopular opinion, and I'm gonna go and say it loud and proud that Lamine Yamal's performance against Inter is overrated. And I'm gonna come with the numbers. Like, and in fact, I'm gonna go and say Lamine Yamal's Champions League campaign overall last year was overrated. Like people are going and putting it like one of the greatest things we've ever gone and seen.
True.
So like I will bring out like the chance creation. I'll bring out like the amount of times he was dispossessed, all those things, XG, expected assists, everything's coming out. And obviously, the thing that they love to go and hammer against us. Let's look at the level of competition he was playing, because as soon as it's not against as soon as he has to come against a semi-competent fullback, he can't play. So no, we'll see. See, there's also a thing where like so it's basically it's all one shoot, but we're gonna be filming. I think they play like 4 videos, or 4, and one of them, the final one, is like gonna be like 1v1 call outs. So it's gonna be like one player from your team compared to another one, and so they said that we can do like they have some on the cards initially, but then afterwards they're gonna go and like you can go and choose and decide to have whichever ones you want. But one of them that they put initially was like Declan Rice against Ruiz. It's like, I don't know, I wouldn't mind doing that, but I would prefer like, I don't know, a Rice versus Vitinha. I think that's more interesting.
No, I think Ruiz, because Vitinha Rice, it's not a debate. Ruiz Rice, in my opinion, shouldn't be a debate either. But I guess it's time, because I remember when I had previews with Arsenal fans ahead of the PSG Arsenal leg, when we bid like a combined 11, they agreed on Vitinha, they agreed on Neves, but because Fabian is so underrated, he said Rice. And then obviously Fabian proved me correctly, scoring the banger. And Fabian's goal, the set piece we got, came from Declan Rice, heavy touch, and then foul.
I mean, the only thing, if I had to do that, it'd be like, then they just go and say like, I mean, Declan Rice has had a pretty decent start to the season this year, and it'd just be that. Like, I mean, Fabian is just not that player, so. I know I'd be relying a lot on like what happened last year and when they faced each other directly. But I mean, I could go on that. I could even go and look at the fact that like, in the Euros, he gave away in the final. That's like, I think they played each other 4 times, and he's won 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken. So, But yeah, and then obviously there's going to be one where there's going to be the tradition, like the Trent and Robertson in their prime versus Hakimi and Nuno.
Yeah, I mean,
That's going to be interesting.
no, but props to you for being able to, because I wouldn't, Junior. I mean, I'm not even gonna talk from like if they haven't reached out to me or anything. I'm not even gonna say that, but like, even if it happened, I wouldn't be able to sit there.
Why? Because like you feel like it'd be a trap.
No. I don't like talking with like these delusional football fans. For example, the TikTok lives you do, I wouldn't be able to do that. Like my brain would like. I don't know if you've noticed it, Junior, because I've like stopped doing collabs overall with like opposition fans. I have bad memories of loss because I sit there with someone that. One thing I've understood, Junior, as well, it's like, let's say I had a economics channel instead, and I
Yeah,
talked business, and I brought another business channel. We would
yeah.
just have a discussion, maybe disagree on some points and so on, but when it comes to these football, it always becomes like I'm better than you and insecure about weaknesses and debates and so on. Becomes like a tribal war. I don't want that, man. The players are gonna have a war on the pitch, but as fans here outside of the game, we should be able to just have a discussion, talk about football, talk about, oh, this is how PSG could lose, this is how the opposition team could lose. But it basically never becomes like that. So yeah, no, shout out to your mental strength. I wouldn't be able.
No, I'm really looking forward to it whenever they come out, specifically with the Ligue versus Farmers League, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Because I've done I brought in the numbers, I've done the calculations. I actually want to know where you're going to go and say in your response. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, another one is also like in the initial ones, like the one PSG fan versus 5 Premier League is like, oh, Luis Enrique is the best manager in the world right now.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, I wanted. I'm not sure if it's smart of me, but I wanted to go and change it to go and like argue like Luis Enrique is one of the best managers of all time. But I guess you could argue that makes it more difficult on me because I feel like for right now, like, it's gonna sound arrogant. I feel like that's like pretty like water is wet. Like Luis Enrique, he's the current Champions League holder. He's got a sextuple. He's one of only 2 managers to ever win back to 2 trebles with 2 different teams. Like,
has a sextuple. Only it's only happened 3 times.
3 times. Like, I mean, I don't know who would people go and say what. Maybe, I mean, obviously it would be what, Arteta. But like, I mean,
No.
like I'm just, if you had to anticipate like what they would go and say in rebuttal.
Maybe some people would do because I saw that Barca fan that went on there.
Oh yeah, that flick.
Yeah, he did flick.
Because of the money.
And then they always bring up this fucking money gimmick argument.
No, but
he hasn't spent any money. And it's like, if you look at who, if you ask people who is the best Premier League manager in the past 7 seasons, everyone will say Pep, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he has easily outspent all the other managers.
Exactly.
But I mean, when you're the best, you outspend because you generate more money. Like,
I mean, even outside of that, though, then my point would go and be in like, so congratulations, you're poor. Like it's not like if this was like, I don't know, I don't know, Valencia that did that. Okay, fair, I could hear it. But it's like, this is Barcelona, he can't spend because of Barcelona's own incompetency. Like, it's not because, out of their own goodness of their own hearts make it harder for, like, they can't spend because they cannot, they got financial problems. So like, congratulations, they're poor. Thanks for stating the obvious. I remember like people went and used that argument as to why Flick deserved to win the manager of the year over Luis Enrique. And I'm like, so what? As in, my question is like, what more do you want Luis Enrique to go and do? Because people obviously, like, how a lot of people pointed out to the fact that PSG, they weren't able to go and get João Neves, Doué, Stefano Pacho, Kvara, and whatnot. But I'll go and look, like, I feel like I think now that PSG, obviously we won the Champions League, I think they go and make it seem as though it was like a given that we would go and do so. Obviously, you were probably definitely the most confident PSG fans. But I'll go into, like, at the beginning of the season, you go and tell us PSG is going to win the Champions League. I think most PSG fans are going like, obviously we can. We're like, it wouldn't be crazy to go and say, but you wouldn't go and say, given especially the context at the time, you'd lost Mbappe, you're probably you lost Neymar, you lost Messi, you lost Sergio Ramos, you lost Keylor Navas, all of these players, Verratti, key players, some of the best players in this generation.
Yeah, and if you ask people, nobody had us in their top 3. Nobody had us in their top 5.
Exactly.
But then when we won it, they were like, yeah, it was
Oh,
expected. They
it's
spent
expected.
a
They spent all
trillion
this
of
money.
the GDP of Sri Lanka.
Like even then, like I mean, we spent what 60 mil for Doué? 60 roughly.
Yeah, we didn't like.
Yeah, we didn't overspend for them either. Like even Kawhi bought him for what 70. That's a steal for what you go and get. Like we didn't overspend for them either.
Newcastle bought like Voltemade for 100, and he's chilling on the bench.
Exactly.
Spurs, how much did Spurs on Xavi for? Like 80 million.
Yes,
We sent Khvicha for less. So I know all of their arguments is just agenda.
I mean, I'll make sure to go and especially harp on them with that argument. And the fact that like, yeah, a lot of people are now rewriting history. And specifically, I mean, there's not going to be a Barca fan there, so I'm not anticipating to hear that argument. But that like, oh, they can't spend in one. That's like so my question would be like, what more would you have asked Luis Enrique to have done last year? Because Luis Enrique had the exact same season Hansi Flick had 2 years ago, yet nobody was going and saying he's the best manager in the world. Right? After losing Neymar, after losing Messi, after losing Sergio Ramos, after losing all these players, and despite that, winning everything domestically, getting to the semifinals, nobody went and said that, you know, Luis Enrique was one of the best managers in the world. All of a sudden, Hansi Flick has basically the exact same season with Barcelona, and all of a sudden, no, Hansi Flick's better than Luis Enrique. Come on.
Yeah, I look at this. I said revisionist history is crazy because after we slapped them, they told us Inter were worse and past their best. I remember what people used to say before the final. I remember what I said, Junior. I said, no, this is going to be a really tight final. Inter is a tough team to break down. They can punish you on the counterattack from set pieces.
Yeah.
But because we made it look so easy. They just say, yeah, Inter trash, Inter ass.
Like even going back to like the Ballon d'Or debate, a lot of the things was like, oh, the only reason Dembele was that good is because the team around him was so good. It's like, hold on, like in the semifinals, all the Barca fans were going and saying that we're better than PSG. But like, it's only now that we've clearly shown we're better. Now you're rewriting history, saying no, it was always obvious. You guys always had the better team. So like in the final, if we like before going into like, oh yeah, we're clearly the better team, we're the best team in the world, so on and so forth. And all of a sudden, when we go and we beat them, it's like, oh, but like Lamine was having to carry Barca. So hold on, I thought you had the better team, you had the better players.
Yeah, we've never seen Dembele have that kind of a performance for us because we're not ass. We're not ass. We have Hakimi, we have Nuno, we have Kvara, we have Doué, we have the best midfield in the world. Everyone, takes part in destroying the opposition.
Exactly.
But obviously, Dembele was the best out of the bunch.
Exactly.
And he was the decisive player. He was the leader on the pitch as well. When we went to Anfield, we needed the early goal. We called upon Ousmane Dembele, the genie in the bottle. When we went to Arsenal away, we called upon the genie in the bottle. And it's not just he scored the goal. He created the goal. He's the one that drops into space, receives the ball, puts it out to wide, and then great positioning and scores both goals. 2 games that we only won 1-0. Decisiveness. Yeah. But no, give me 15 irrelevant dribbles
for a couple Ike foyers. I'm actually like,
I mean, ask football player, what's harder, scoring a goal in the UCL final or having 10 dribbles completed?
No, I mean, I'm actually like convinced now. I think because the thing is, now people are gonna go and say, "Oh, you're just hating." Like, I think Lamine Yamal's performance was like one of the best last year. But people are like, I'll go on like people.
He deserves Ballon d'Or for this performance.
But Ballon d'Or is one of the best. Like, I'm not sure if you remember. How is that performance? I mean, I asked it with them when Phil was here. How is that performance much better than Sancho against PSG a couple years earlier? Like, Sancho completed 1 less dribble than him. Had one, if you want to look at it as like his ground duels, like success rate, percentage-wise, it was higher than Lamine Yamal, 70 to 64 for Lamine Yamal. He was dispossessed less times. It was only dispossessed once. Lamine Yamal was dispossessed 3 times. He created more chances created than Lamine Yamal did. And Lamine Yamal supposed to be this magical chance. Like, to go and show, Désiré Doué in the 67 minutes in that final created as many chances created as Lamine Yamal did across both legs. Lamine Yamal across all 210 minutes against Inter, he only created 3 big chances created.
Yeah, that's actually one critique I have of Yamal versus Inter. We know that Yamal is a much better playmaker than he's a goal scorer. But against Inter, he tried this goal scoring gimmick, and it didn't work out. Instead of playing his playmaking gimmick, which is what makes him so good as well.
Like even after, if you go, they'll go and try to go and say, oh well, the only reason that he couldn't get Jay is because like he was going in like the passes and whatnot, his teammates couldn't finish and whatnot. Okay, I went and looked at like expected assist is still lower than Doué's. Like this performance is like, I still think it was a really good performance, and that's going to be the problem because as soon as you say like something is overrated, people go and say you think it's bad. I think Lamine Yamal's performance was like one of the best last season, but people go and saying like if you go and you say Doué's performance in the final was better, people like scoff at you. Like Loki, I think I'm about to say I think Doué's performance in the final is underrated now.
Yeah.
Because like when I say like Doué's performance in that final is the greatest Champions League performance ever, people are like laughing at you like you're crazy.
Yeah, I think it was just because I've noticed this with the PSG team, Junior. We have such a stacked team that it's sometimes every player doesn't get the praise they deserve. You know, the overall team gets the praise. I remember PSG after the final and in the Club World Cup, like everybody was glazing us. Like people were genuinely saying this is one of the best teams of all time and everything. But I think the players individually maybe don't get the praise they deserve. Like Khvicha individually, Dembele individually, Fabian Ruiz individually, Neves individually, Vitinha. I think Dembele got a massive PR. Vitinha got massive PR. Hakimi. I think them three took majority of the PR. Black Pacho, not even nominated for the top 30 Ballon d'Or when he was so crazy first season in the Champions League. Nuno Mendes locking up Saka, Salah.
Enrique fue.
Yeah, in the Nations League, yeah.
Yeah,
and I don't know. People don't want to give it to us. Like if any other team would have done what we did, they'd be like, "Yo, they won the UCL as the second youngest team ever. You know, they might have a dynasty actually." But because it's Paris Saint-Germain, it's no. It's a purple patch. Oh, they just finally won it. You know, it was about time. It was inevitable. And
like
yeah,
honestly,
they're not gonna win it again.
Like legitimately, people go and will scoff and laugh, but I think like PSG was that Chelsea game away. If PSG win that game, I'm saying we're the best team of all time. Like at that point, you're gonna go and say, "Oh no," I'm going to say, "Put your septuple on the table." That's why I want to beat Chelsea. Like at that point, it's like put your septuple on the table. You can go and you laugh all Ligue, but put your septuple on the table and then start talking. Like,
and we made that Club World Cup look easy, man.
Exactly, smacked.
We had a tough draw as well, but we just smacked
every single team.
I remember the game going into Madrid. I thought it would be a little bit tight.
Yeah,
they look decent on the Chabi. They're dangerous, you know, counter-attacking players. But we ended the game in 30 minutes. Man, Club World Cup was such a vibe, man.
Yeah,
but as I've said, because we lost it, we got to go back to back.
The one though that I don't know where people are going to argue is going to be when it comes to like Hakimi Nuno versus Trent and Robertson.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just like that sort. I mean, there's going to be a lot of. Because I guess there again, I would say they won a Champions League too. I think what I'm going to have to harp on for that one is I have to go and harp on just like as players, as individual football players. Because then if we start getting into conversation of like, oh, like the season specifically and whatnot, then they're going to come with the arguments of again, like, oh, but they play in France, they do this, they do that.
Yeah.
But even still, I don't like. I mean, maybe it makes me sound arrogant, but I don't know. Like, I think Hakimi is a better right back than Trent. Like even when Hakimi was at Inter, like he was making. I believe he made the team of the year that year, or the Champions League team of the season. Right? Anyways, he was one of the best right backs even back at Inter.
You can do he scored in the
Yeah, the
UCL quarterfinal, semi-final, and
semifinal, and
final. I
final.
think only 4 players have done that in history.
I think he's got the most GA of any right back in the history. And actually, no,
Yeah, he
not
broke Trent and Alves' record last season.
so. I actually that's gonna be a really good one because oftentimes when I go and we get into other conversations, people like going saying, "Oh, you're talking about GA for a defender." Well, with Trent Alexander-Arnold, that's kind of all he really has going for him. Like nobody goes and gives his praises for his defensive ability, right? So I think people will agree that Hakimi is clear of Trent defensively and even offensively. Okay, fine. If you want to go talk about putting in a cross and whatnot, fine. But going forwards, the whole package, I'll go and say Hakimi's better. Scores more goals, is more
He had the
decisive,
most big chances created.
more chances, big chances created is involved. Like he bombs up everywhere. And then Robertson versus Nuno. I mean, because it's gonna be a Liverpool fan there, so I'm just trying to think. Like, I'm just like the thing I'm need to do is like anticipate what exactly are they gonna go and say in rebuttal.
I think the main thing they're gonna say, similar to when we did the combined 11 thing, is that like the longevity. Like how many seasons? That's why it's important to make it about peak. So say Trent's peak season is 18-19. Hakim is 24-25. I think Hakim is 24-25 is better than Trent 18-19. And then I don't even know when Robertson's prime is, and then you just take it prime versus prime.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think with the I think Robertson maybe. I think his peaks. I think he might have better numbers than Nuno. In fact, I'm pretty sure he did. But I think even like, I think for that one, I just go and look at like, for example, the conversations that people have like Nuno now, like now, low key, like you have literally people going and saying like Nuno is potentially already a top 3 center like left backs all time, and that's not even crazy to say now.
Yeah,
And people are going to say, and like non PSG fans, I'm like, has anybody ever said that about Robertson? I don't think so. Like when you go and you think of like a Premier League all-time, maybe some might go and say, but like people would go and put like people like Patrice Evra, Ashley Cole, for example. So, yeah. But so you said your category, you'd never go on one of those things where you debate as a PSG fan, even if you're able to go and like come out with a statement.
Yeah, and that's because of the people I'm debating with. Like I don't, you know how you know Jim Carrey, for example, Junior.
Jamie Carragher.
No, Jim
Oh, Jim
Carrey,
Carrey, like the actor.
the comedian.
Yeah.
Do you know how he doesn't like feel at home in Hollywood and like with other people that has the same job as him?
Mm-hmm.
I feel the same. I don't connect, and I don't what's the word? I don't know. I'm just not the same as most content creators. I think a lot of people. I'm more like a TV channel, Junior. Maybe you've noticed it when we talk. Like I always try to be as serious as possible. I always try to say the truth. If you or Tosin say something like I think it's like maybe it's funny, but I don't agree, I would say no, that's not true, guys. Or sometimes when Tosin goes in on Barca or something, because I always want to be serious because I want to take myself seriously, and I want people to watch to take myself seriously. When I say an opinion, people are like, okay, PSG said that, okay, PSG said that. But other people I've noticed it's all about like getting engagements and saying like,
but
a
I
funny
think
thing.
you
Like
can
they
do
don't genuinely believe what they say. There was like a video of 2 Arsenal fans. I think one of them has been on that thing, and they said like, would the Saka start for these teams? Treble Madrid, and he's I know he doesn't believe Saka is better than Bale, but he just said it because he's funny or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's very clownish. I would never do that.
Like I'm not sure if you know there's this the country JFTV. Luca is his name. He's a Juve fan. Yeah, he's like him. Like I think he's a pretty like neutral, not super duper.
I think he tries to be serious, but when I hear some of his opinions, I think there's one video where he said Vitinha came 3rd in the Ballon d'Or, Pedri came 11th. Vitinha is not like 1/10 of Pedri. And I'm like, come on, that's delusion. You can say that you think Pedri is a better player than Vitinha, but saying he's not 1/10. So I think he's someone that tries to sound serious, but he's not actually serious. He's also one of the trolls.
No, I think that one is him just being hyperbolic. Like
Yeah, but hyperbolic. Yeah, not being serious. Like you would never hear me say Yamal is not even 1/10 of Dembele. Why? Because I'm serious to myself. I have serious opinions. I'm not here to say some outlandish stuff and to prove my point.
Fair enough.
And I think a lot of them. How can I say this, Junior? Like, if they were in a discussion just with you, no cameras. For example, if me you have a discussion with no camera, Junior, I would sound exactly the same. I would say the same kind of when I talk with my friends, I say the same football opinions I say on here. But a
Mhm.
lot of them, I think when the camera is on, they don't say the same because they gotta back their team, they gotta back their players. Like if Dembele is going through shit form, I would say Dembele is ass. I don't care. I'm not here to be nice to anyone. I'm just here to be to say the truth and so on. So I think a lot of it as well is they're in the camera, Junior. They're Arsenal fans. So when they say, "Oh, Saka or Dembele," they're like, "Oh, I gotta say Saka, man." Imagine what will people would call me a fake Arsenal fan if I don't pick Saka and stuff. It's like, stop caring what people think about you, man.
Yeah, no. Well, I
Yeah,
think one of the
yeah.
go on.
Sorry, no, just one word came in the comment. I don't resonate with them. Yeah, yeah. Just
Yeah.
as a person and as a content creator. What was you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say that I think a lot of that is just going back to the fact that especially with a lot of I guess I would say Premier League and the Liga fans. I think the fact that like even you going to look at it, the amount of times, okay, maybe Luca, but even Luca, I would go and say is like relatively tame compared to like other, Barca, Real Madrid, Premier League creators. The fact that because it's not Barcelona, Real Madrid, or the Premier League, like you sort of have to watch the other leagues, right? As a PSG fan, obviously you watch PSG, but you also watch what happens in the Premier League, in La Liga, in other leagues, and so on and so forth. And so it makes you more reasoned and more like, I guess, reasonable in your takes. Whereas like I know it's going to come up at some point. And one thing I'm going to say categorically, I'm going to go and say, you talk about PSG this, how many PSG games did you watch last season? I'll go and ask that question just point blank. How many? If they go and say, oh, I think, so I'm going to say, so you're talking about, because that's one of the big issues I have is like, you'll go and say that, oh, this player is washed, whack, that you've only watched maybe 5 games of that player last season. You're
Yeah.
saying confidently that you think this player is whack. Like, I don't watch the Bundesliga. I don't watch the Serie A, but I also don't go and talk about the Bundesliga like I'm an expert. So it's like also like stay in your lane. I do watch Barcelona, Real Madrid, and the Premier League teams relatively frequently, so I can go and say so. But if you never watch Ligue 1, you go and call it a farmers league, I'm like, well, then how do you know it's
Yeah,
bad? You don't
yeah,
watch
exactly.
it.
It's an ignorant opinion. It's like Premier League, Junior. Do you see me often talk about the Premier League? No. I
No.
mean, because I don't watch. I'm an anti Premier League. I watch PSG. I watch Madrid. I want to watch Bayern more. It's just I don't know. I just can't get it. But always gives teams their respect. And I think, for example, a team like Bayern Junior gets consistently disrespected because nobody watches and cares about it. It's like
No, I
that's
agree
not how it works.
100%.
They say, "Oh no, well, it's like on Twitter. I see, oh, we should half Olisa's GA because he does it in the Bundesliga." And I'm like, "What the fuck is what these clownish opinions, man?"
Yeah, I think it's the most. I'm gonna specifically harp on that. A lot of times, how PSG were mocked, obviously for you spent all this money and you still couldn't win the Champions League, and it's like, well, then why don't we apply the same thing to Premier League teams, right? When all these cities and whatnot are going spending and whatnot, like where's all that same energy then? Like, why was
Yeah,
it only an issue with PSG? So, and then I think I'm gonna also ask the question, and I agree with you that some people just go and put on a show. Obviously, like to a certain degree, like you got it back, but like I also try to be as reasonable as one can be. But like, so for example, when PSG, I feel like PSG, and I would also argue Bayern, they're teams where like basically, especially domestically, whatever they do, you're gonna get clowned on. If PSG wins the league by 20 points, you get clowned on. If PSG
farmers.
loses the league, they get clowned on. So it's like
Yeah,
you don't actually care what happens, right? Because if PSG goes and like we're in a title race now, it's like, oh my goodness, even in League you guys can't go and win it. And if we do win it, it's like, oh, you're in League or you win it. So my question to you is like, so what do you want PSG to do? Do you want us to like go and start playing in the Prem now? Is that what you want?
yeah. Is that the only way to?
Yeah, that's the only way that you go and basically start taking PSG seriously. Is if you went and moved and started playing in the Prem. Is that what you're basically asking for?
Yeah, no. They basically put you into a position where your team can't be appreciated, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could. how can I, again, Junior? It goes back to what I said before. It's not about having a football discussion. It's about having a football debate. And when you debate someone, you're trying to put him, in a
Put him
position
down.
where he's gonna lose, where he can't fight back, where he can't do that. And I'm like, I'm here to talk football. I'm here to talk. I want to talk football. I'm not here to, I don't know, talk about your insecurities and say bad stuff about your team to get you angry. Like when they say the Farmers League Junior, it's just like to press a button, to press one of your buttons. Or Farmers League, Farmers League, Farmers League. So you basically get mad and don't stay on the subject and get emotional and so on. So for me, instead of putting myself in those positions, I'm like, you guys can do your content creation, but yeah, I can't be part of this. It goes against my intellect.
But
As
would
they
you not?
say, Junior, never debate an idiot because you will never understand that he's wrong.
But would you not say though that because oftentimes, sometimes also, I think that if, for example, like you ever listen to debates or whatever the topic may be, and there's like the one person who tries to be like really like clever and like rhetorical and say things and
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
like insults, and the other person who's like actually like debating properly, maybe like to a normie, like oh that person won, but like I'll go and say, even though I don't necessarily, maybe you might not even necessarily agree with the other person's take, but you think that they were the better debater. Do you not think that sometimes if you're more reasoned, like you're not like going and like rage baiting or engagement baiting people, and you're actually giving like reasoned proper takes? Do you not think, because obviously when you go into like when you're having a conversation, you're trying to convince the other person, your interlocutor, right? Whereas in a
Yeah.
debate, you're not actually, you're trying to
It,
convince
it,
a third party, you're trying to convince the
yeah,
audience.
yeah, yeah.
So would you not think, like, let's say you were to go on those things, it's not that you're trying to convince, the Arsenal fan, the Barca fan, whoever it may be on the other side. You're trying to convince the people watching that, you know what, those things on hey, that's actually pretty reasonable. I didn't know that about PSG or whatever it may be.
No, I understand that point. I just, for my own mental health, I don't want to put myself in that position.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Because, as you said, the people that are watching, I think most of them, because they're just sitting at home, they're not part of the debate, part of the show. They can actually, think somewhat rationally into my points and the other positions, the other people, person's points. But if we take that debate show, for example, I know that all the content creators surrounding me are just all. It's just a circus. They're just, there to farm engagement, to rage baits. Because I've seen like their shorts and TikToks, they pop up, and it's like I would never do that to myself. And I'm gonna be honest, Junior. When I was smaller, I would say I was somewhat part of that as well, Junior. I was trolling more. I was hating. I was negative. I was toxic, both on YouTube and on Twitter. But I've grown up both
Yeah.
as a person and as a YouTuber. Obviously, you improve, you learn from your mistakes and so on. And yeah, I just can't be part of that. For me, Junior, I think a professional studio that suits me way more. Like, for example, when I was on CB Sports Golasso
Mm.
once, and though even those type of shows have become childish. Like I see the
Yeah,
take,
even then,
especially
man,
that
like,
Kate Abdul Henri Richards character. I mean, it's come to a point where it's just Twitter trolls sitting in front of a studio. No football opinions, just vibes, going around with a breast shirt, saying a bunch of like I don't know. I think the world has become so unserious. Not just football, Junior, basically everything. You want to talk about, I don't know, the Iran Israel conflict or the Israel genocide in Palestine, and people are just trolling and saying stupid stuff.
yeah, no, I think I agree. Specifically on, like, how there's obviously the CBS, the segment that you were on specifically, not like with obviously the K, but the Americans
Mm-mm-mm.
and whatnot. Them, like, I don't know. For me, there's sometimes where I'm not sure. Maybe you ever realize that even like when listening to commentary, specifically with PSG, like you go and you listen, like, yeah, I know that you do not watch PSG like routinely. Like they'll go and say something, it's like, yeah, you don't watch PSG, and
Yeah,
like just
it's
some of
that
the
undertone.
yeah, like just the dismissiveness of it. That's why, like, I mean, I'm not sure how you felt. Like a lot of, how I feel like a lot of last year, because PSG, they were young, they had Due, they had João Neves, they had all these players and whatnot. Like a lot of teams, like, want to sort of back us, and I was like, no, like specifically, I was like Jamie Carragher. I'm like, no, because you guys were the same ones constantly like mocking us and whatnot. I'm not gonna allow you to just all of a sudden just hop on the bandwagon, right? Like even now, people they're going saying, oh, PSG this, that, and the other. So I'm like, then don't change up when PSG start finding
Yeah,
form and
yeah, yeah.
whatnot. Yeah, stick to your Premier Leagues and your free kick FC, set piece FC, Gabriel Magalhaes being your biggest, attacking threat and whatnot. If that's the football you want, then fine. But yeah.
I remember doing the City game. We're 2-0 down. I already nearly gave up, Junior. And then I heard the commentator say, 2-0 down. Yeah, it's over for PSG. I was like, get this commentary off, man. Get this commentary off. That was clear agenda. And they would come back to win. Or for me, the dirtiest agenda they did against us was our second leg versus Liverpool.
Really?
There were so many people that just completely dismissed us that because we're going to Anfield. We're going to
Anfield. Like the whole Premier intent. Yeah.
And it's like, well, you had 5 big chances and 5 XG and 20 shots and you couldn't score. How do you think you're going to score at Anfield? Which is just a completely illogical thing. If that game is played 100 times over, we're scoring more than 0 goals.
I mean, I don't know. I felt that one I was more okay. That one we're going into the Lions Den. Liverpool were in good form. The one that I really didn't like is, and even still to this day, is the Villa one. Of course, in the end and whatnot, But people go and say, "Oh my goodness, Villa was this close from beating PSG." No, they were this from equalizing. PSG after that first goal that Morgan Rogers scored, we're never down. We were never down in the tie. Even if they score, okay, fine, they equalize and we go on. People
we were 5-1 up. You could say PSG nearly bottled it. Yeah, you could say that. But even then, trying to give some insane prop to Villa.
But when, for example, they go and say oh, Marcus Rashford or the Asensio chance, PSG were still a goal up. So okay, they would have equalized and then okay, we move on. It's not like PSG would have gone knocked out with that goal. That's what I'm saying. People are rewriting the history. I think for me, it's the Villa tie second leg. People are over just overglazing how impactful that one was.
Yeah, especially because they scored obviously first goal early on, the own goal from Pacho. And then they got 2 consecutive goals. Was it 56th minute and 60th minute? They had 30 minutes. 30 minutes to score on us.
Mm-hmm.
And because what it feels for me, Junior, we were just overconfident. We were 5-1 up. We're Villa are never going to go back to it. We dropped our level, let Villa come back into the game. But when it was 1 goal, we said, you know what? Yeah, we're not going to let them score. And we didn't let them score from that point on.
Yeah.
With the entire stadium being against us and everything. So no, I guess Junior, we have to. That's why we have to win the back-to-back, because it nearly feels like an immigrant or a black person, Junior. When they say you got to work double as hard to get the same amount of appreciation. That's how it feels like PSG.
Mm-hmm.
We're just so massively disrespected. And same thing with Ghost Dembouz. Dembouz got to win a second Ballon d'Or to get the praise for 1 Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even then, then they're gonna I read it. It's funny because I almost feel like I can play they're gonna go and use the argument of oh well, PSG, they play Ligue 1, they can rest, they can rotate. That I remember that I know that Barca one you're talking about. It was on Zach. I think Zach is the channel name or whatnot. And that the red, it was all white and whatnot. And that Barca friend was going saying, "Oh yeah, but PSG can they can rest all their players in Ligue 1 and so on and so forth." It's
where
that one Barca, it was 1 Barca fan versus 20 Barca haters or whatnot. That one that came out recently. The one who said that was putting up all the Barca propaganda of oh, Flick was better than Hansi Flick. Ligue was the best. It was that one, because later on he was going saying, "Oh yeah, but PSG." I think it was in the conversation with regards to who's the better manager. Who's saying "Oh yeah, but PSG, they can rotate their squad in Liga and whatnot." I'm okay, listen, I'll go and say okay, yeah, sure, fine. La Liga is better than Liga, and even this season, I don't think it's that the separation between the 2 leagues is not all that big. But okay, fine. But you're not gonna go and tell me that Albacete or no, Real Oviedo is levels clear of Brest. Sorry, it's just Flick doesn't rotate his squad. Luis Enrique, and I think the biggest thing is hold on, Luis Enrique literally came to the Montjuic with his youth league team and beat Barca. At that point, from that day on, I'm sorry, I'm not chatting with you. You can go and say rotation this, rotation that. PSG went with a hampered squad. No Dembele, no Doué, no Cavaro, no João Neves, no Marquinhos. 5 starters who started in a Champions League final. right? And now all of a sudden, retrospectively, they're trying to play the gimmick of, oh yeah, but Lamine Yamal, Senorique Fue, he wasn't fit.
Ubaljo.
Oh yeah, this, that, and the other. Balde. Okay, then if you want to play that gimmick, then Vitinho wasn't fully fit. Then Fabian Ruiz wasn't fully fit. They were coming back from injuries too. Like, yeah.
There's one that I don't know exactly his name. I think it's on maybe TikTok and stuff. And I think once he popped up for me, and yeah, it was ridiculous what I heard. I think it was about Dembouz or something. It's just like even I, Junior. I openly say I personally hate Mbappe, both as a player and as a person, for everything he did at PSG, as a player and a person, and then overall just as a person. I think he's an egomaniac. He doesn't actually have any really close friends. Like the only one I've seen from football time is like Hakimi.
Mm-hmm.
And even I'm honest about Mbappe. If Mbappe is like cooking or something, if he had the season Dembouz had, I'd be like, yeah, no. Mbappe, even though he hurts, no, Mbappe is clearly the best player in the world. I mean, what he did for Madrid, being decisive, even though it's their 16th Champions League, he was still massively impactful. And I think he's deserving of the Ballon d'Or.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because my emotions will never come in front of my intellect. Like, I can't lie. I don't know. It goes against me. I think most of them don't have that. Yeah, I don't have that. Like, I want to be as just respectful and nice and just have conversations and stuff. I don't see the point in winning a debate.
Yeah, no.
I see just having a conversation.
I agree.
I think a lot of people haven't watched it. Is it okay, Junior? I'm just gonna show it.
No worries.
Have you seen it, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
Because there are two ones. There's one I think about the game.
There were two. I remember the one where you got asked about Mbappe and him leaving. I remember that one. And your response was like, "We hear this every single year." It was during the Sociedad game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me show it. It might be like an echo now, from Junior, or maybe not. I will see. Maybe an echo, because I don't have it on my main thing.
Patience. Me personally, I got more mad about Messi after he departed and the comments he had towards PSG, where he used a victim card most of the time, blaming his bad stints at PSG for the ultras, what they were booing him and everything, and not talking and taking accountability about his performances. But in my opinion, he had this time, and I tried to look at.
Hey, I remember I was shitting my pants, Junior. Like when I got the call, man. I was shitting my pants, man. I was so stressed. It's so big. I actually remember I had a live watch along. But the thing is, they wanted me to have the clips, so I was recording myself for them through my main camera. But I had to watch along at the same time with a worse microphone and a worse camera for the audience.
Club, even though there aren't that many positives.
What about your thoughts then about Kylian Mbappe?
There you go. Even your smile.
Yeah, because I was like, yo, this is a PSG Sociedad. You're gonna Mbappe last season. They all win. Oh, by the way, when we're talking about the commentator thing, Junior, I remember when we played Madrid in 21-22. What they said all the time across both legs. Oh, Mbappe's course against Madrid. This will be his last season at PSG, and he just scored against his future club. Every single time he did something, and I'm like,
I've been hearing that since 2021.
There you go.
Not to believe anymore. And Kylian Mbappe is a PSG player for at least this season, we can say. And I hope Kylian Mbappe will help Paris Saint-Germain progress in the Champions League and lift the Champions League this year. Whether he leaves or not, he has to have a big season.
Well, he didn't. He didn't. And Mbappe, I remember at this point, Mbappe was cooking in January, February, and then as soon as the decision came that he's gonna leave, he became ass again.
Yeah.
I don't understand the Junior, even from Mbappe perspective. Okay, you want to go to Madrid. Imagine he just ended it off with so much desire and won the UCL, Junior. We wouldn't be sitting here hating on him. Or maybe me. He could have ended everything so much better.
I mean, I don't know.
Does he hate Nasser that much or something?
I think it was that. I think that's the biggest thing. And I think even I don't. listen, obviously I don't know Mbappe personally, but I don't think he hates PSG or doesn't have any bad blood with PSG like overall. Because I think even after like the Club World Cup final, I think he went, spoke to the staff and whatnot. I think it's just like the higher ups. I think that's what he has an issue with.
Yeah.
I think that's it. But
But like you can like like differentiate between them. Like the club, you've been here for 7 years, you're the top goal scorer. It's even now, with the legal battle and the court stuff and everything. I don't know, it just feels like he's just the club where he has his biggest legacy. He's just tarnishing it for some reason. Like I always thought he wants to have a good relationship.
yeah, and that's like oftentimes when I go into where TikTok lives or whatnot, people go and say, "Oh, like why do you PSG fans talk about like Mbappe like that? He's your biggest player and whatnot." It's like I don't think people non-PSG fans truly understand like the Mbappe's at PSG because I think they go and say,
Especially the last like 2 years.
Yeah.
That's where most of it is from.
Exactly. I think it's the fact that like they just think, oh, he's your all-time top scorer. He's French. He's all this. It's like exactly. If you go and you look at it, hold on. Mbappe has everything to be PSG's greatest all-time, like to be like institutionalized, have it like a statue outside the Parc des Princes. He's Parisian. You want to go and say he's a minority as well, so he speaks to a lot of PSG fans that are from Paris. He came young at the club. He's got the most goals. He's like top 3 in assists. He got the most Champions League goals. He was there for the most successful period in the club's history. And yet he left, and you go and you ask most PSG fans, is he even a legend? The word conversation is now, is he even a PSG legend? And people go and say, well, I don't think so. So you might go and say, oh, maybe they're being harsh, maybe it's copium, but like, how do you go from having literally everything stacked in your favor to now basically you split the fan base in half? You must have done
what copium? Like you can take Ronaldo at United, for example. United fans still adore and love United. Ronaldo, because he made sure to have a great relationship with the club. He could have joined City Junior, who would have been a better club. But Alex Ferguson called him and he was like, you know what? Yeah, it's better for me not to ruin my legacy with United joining their rivals. Because he cared about his legacy. He cares about how the club and the fan base will see him. It's like Mbappe doesn't care like how PSG fans think. Oh, you might hate me, you might love me. I don't care. Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm really like, I think it shocks people. Like I've said, like if Mbappe came to PSG, I'm just like he would get booed. He would get booed, and people are like, "What? How?" It's like
he got booed in his farewell game. I remember versus Toulouse.
Yeah, he got booed then.
His brother got.
Yeah, his brother.
I don't think his brother deserved it, but he got booed.
Exactly. So he's gonna get booed, and I think there's all those things. I mean, for me, like, and even after the whole situation, then everything afterwards, surfaces. Like if I wanted to stay at PSG, I would have left a long time ago. I remember like at the beginning of the 2022 Champions League campaign, he's like, "Oh, like we're gonna have to fight with what we have." And then when we got knocked out to Bayern, it's like, "Well, that's all we had." Like and like all those like things, and then like the Monaco for me the Monaco.
Junior, because I saw reports came out about it. It was for a documentary. He still hasn't uploaded documentary yet. Like last season at PSG, he did the documentary, and that was part of the documentary.
I think he's.
But the thing is, he can't drop it because at the moment, everything looks cooked when it comes to Mbappe, Madrid, and everything.
Yeah, it would be a pure disaster.
Should we continue?
Yeah.
At least it brought a smile on your face when we said about Mbappe leaving. At least you smiled about that.
No, it's more the situation. All the reporters talking about Mbappe possibly leaving PSG, and that there's already an agreement after that.
There was an agreement. There was unfortunately an agreement. I didn't Mbappe think that he was that snaky. Because I always said, you know what, he's going to do it towards the end of the season because it's a win-win situation. He will join Madrid and he won't ruin his legacy at PSG and fuck us up in the middle of the season. But clearly, I was wrong.
Mbappe will not make any agreements with the club mid-season. So I just think the entire Mbappe transfer saga is an entertaining transfer saga.
Well, it would be a fairy tale finish, wouldn't it, this season if they can win the Champions League, whatever happens with him come this summer. Thanks so much. We'll see you very soon.
Thank you so much.
Was it like a Zoom call or something?
Skype.
Oh,
what? How do they have it on Skype? It feels like the issue is for some reason I couldn't connect my microphone. It was something. It was either I connected the wrong microphone. It was like the connection just wasn't good enough. And now I'm just gonna find the second clip. This one.
Now the danger is that league can swell very quickly if Real Sociedad are not careful.
Happy about this. Who's joining us now at PSG? Int from YouTube. How about that goal from Kylian Mbappe?
I mean, it was a beautiful goal. It was much better in the second half. I love this. And you betted. You've got Mbappe now. Now all you need is Dembele.
Yeah, because he made the bet in the beginning of he said I betted Mbappe and Dembele to score. And I said when he made it in the beginning, I was like, Mbappe, that's a good bet. Dembele, I don't think so. Obviously, Dembele didn't score.
Yes, you're right there, PSG, but how nervous were you in the first half? Because you've got to give credit to Real Sociedad. They made it difficult for Paris Saint-Germain, and they've come out and had some really good chances also.
Was this the first leg or second leg?
First leg.
Yeah, first leg. Okay.
That they come out pressing. I thought their first knockout stage in like 10 plus years, they would play more defensive, more conservative. I respect the Sociedad. They come out pressing. I think that changed the game plan for PSG and shocked us a bit. But yeah, great management from Lucho here coming out in the second half. We've just been so dominant in the second half.
Hey, do you have any skin in the game? I saw your celebration. I really liked that.
That was very passionate.
That was passionate to the max. But you got some.
That's what.
Because I'm a big Juventus fan, but unless I got some skin in the game, I'm not celebrating like that.
I mean, I love PSG. Only PSG and obviously my two national teams, but PSG means a lot, and that's just a normal reaction for me. Every goal.
Exactly. Like, what?
Always that crazy. But with it being a round of 16 game, obviously there's a bit extra on it.
That reaction there for me was a reaction of relief.
It was also relief from the haters. I've seen a lot of comments saying from the haters. I've seen a lot of comments after the halftime saying PSG got cooked. PSG aren't that good. The 7th team in La Ligue are destroying PSG at home. So yeah, it was a ton of relief from the haters' comments and how the first half went.
Expecting more now to come? Now Kylian Mbappe has broken the deadlock?
Yeah, I think Sociedad now, they're not looking as good as they looked in the first half. And Paris Saint-Germain, if you look at previous games versus Dortmund, both of our goals came in the second half. Versus AC Milan, 2 out of our 3 goals came in the second half. And Newcastle, obviously the goal and all the chances came in the second half. We're usually a better side. And here Mbappe has a big chance.
He was that live.
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah, because I can't fake my reaction. I can't like because I was in there, but I was always looking at the game because the second half was ongoing. They called me after we scored. I did the hands thing like sorry.
Oh, my bad. What did they say after that?
No, I don't remember. Because that's the thing. Like, so one of my viewers, Sudo, she screen recorded because this was live, so she screen recorded it. Unfortunately, I couldn't find it. I used like, Steve. He actually borrowed me his Prime account that has to be Portugal accent, but it wasn't there. I think it was only on like television. So the only clips I have, shout out to Sudo, she screen recorded them and sent both of the clips to me. Damn. So there's a little bit more probably, but I'll never be able to find it.
Oh, so you don't remember what they said like when you live reacted like that?
No. No, this was like 3 years ago.
How did they react out to you to begin with?
Instagram, like I don't even use Instagram. I remember I was just one day scrolling there, and then I saw they reached out to me. And I remember in the next round or the second leg, they reached out to PSG Club Boys on Twitter. They reached out to him. I was actually mad because they actually clipped that out and made it into a video. They didn't do that for me. So I was a little bit mad there. And then I think maybe they stopped because they did it with. I remember on this show they had me and then Bayern were playing at the same time. They had Arnold Schwarzenegger's son He's a Bayern fan.
Okay.
So they had me and him. And then I think for the other one, and they maybe they had, that PSG laundry god. I think they had him maybe for the corner against Barca or something. But I haven't seen them do this with any other content creators. So I think it was something they tried out and then they stopped for some reason.
Yeah, I think so.
But one thing I remember, Junior, I can tell you. So during halftime, if you're watching the TV channel, Junior, it's like advertisement and stuff.
Yeah.
So they like ended it, like, oh, we see you soon.
Yeah.
And then I was still there. I could still see them. Because I had like a backroom camera or something. And then, the black dude.
Yeah.
He was like saying, yo, bring that PSG guy back. He was so funny. He was so great talking to. I heard all of it. And then he said, yo, can they still hear us? And then they cut it off. So for me, honestly, it was a pleasure. It was a great thing being there. I'm not mad that they won't invite me or anything. I understand why. It's because I'm very controversial regarding everything. But how we come back to all of this, I feel like I would much rather want to be part of this than, like, for example, the one that you mentioned, the 1 versus 20.
Like,
I feel that's way more like childish rage baiting, trying to get a clip. Was there? You saw me. I was shitting myself. I was like, yeah, but Mbappe, Messi. I didn't like how he was.
Proper. So what? I mean, I'm not sure maybe how it is over there in Sweden, but like here, for example, in the UK, they're doing a lot more like integration with like content creators and friends, like on like actual, like, for example, like going on Sky.
Yeah, like the Sky Sports. Yeah,
Sky
they have.
Sports,
they bring Faisal, they bring Ilyas, they bring.
Would that be something that you want to do? You'd want to do, or is that? Also...
I mean, I guess that's like more professional, but it's still, heavy delusion. Like when I see, I remember when they did like some combined 11 or something. I don't know. Maybe it's less about maybe it's just people, they just don't understand football, or maybe they don't actually want to be clowns. It's just that they unfortunately just lack ball knowledge, and they just like Rice Vitinha. Like that is not a debate if you actually watch football.
But do you not think that like a lot of like pundits here in the UK would say, no, Rice is better?
Yeah. That's just, as you said, ignorant delusion. How many Vitinha games are they watching?
So
and are they really watching Rice, or are they just saying, oh, Arsenal is good, Arsenal's one of, or their best player is Rice, oh, that means he's the best midfielder in the world? That's how it feels like. I've seen Rice is the number 1 in the Premier League ladder for PFA best player of the year. I don't watch the Premier League, but from people I've seen, from the tweets, does it look like Rice has been the best player in the Premier League this season?
I mean, I think this year for the
I think he's been consistent, probably.
I mean, the thing with the Prem this year is that, like, unlike last year, there's not a single player that's like really like come off the marks. Yeah. So you say what, maybe like Ekitike maybe
before his goal scoring drop.
Yeah. So we'll see. Just imagine how different the PR about Rice would be if he didn't score those 2 free. I mean, yeah, that's just Prem PR, bro. Oh, that reminds me now. Hold on. Actually, let me check.
Yeah. I'm gonna respond to this comment quickly. Yeah, exactly, Fahad. I remember. I think it was more than just support. I think he posted something, a video or something, but yeah, they didn't like it. And honestly, maybe I shouldn't tell this because it's private stuff, but I might as well say it. So Junior, a shirt company came to me, like a really big one. And they've been wanting to collaborate with me for a while. And then we had a call. Everything went well. But then I said, I'm a massive anti-Israel, and I have a lot of opinions that I express consistently that, a lot of people see as controversial. and I don't think it has worked out. But I'm happy because for me it's all about standing for myself and so on. So that's why I know that I don't have really a future. Like for example, with you, Junior, like you care a lot about your PR and how people will perceive you. So that's why you like rarely talk non-football stuff. Maybe you have some opinions that a lot of people would say are controversial or go against the norm, but you keep them more to yourself to be, how can I say, more, I guess, accessible or more
As in,
less
I mean,
hated by. You
I
just
think,
keep it to football. If people hate you because of your Barca opinions, I mean, at the end of
yeah,
the day, it's just football.
I think that's probably broadly how it's it. But there's also for me, it's also like offline because I mean I'm currently like for example I'm studying law and so like I want to become a
Yeah.
lawyer and whatnot. And so it's like your digital
The
footprint.
image, yeah, true.
So I mean I think it's obviously I think it's unfortunate that people can't speak their minds, and especially in a world where people constantly go and say like, oh, we want tolerance and we accept everybody. It's like nah, you don't really, like, you have to fit in some
Yeah,
certain
exactly. You have to fit into the norm. Yeah.
yeah. It's like, I mean, I don't know. I think I heard you speaking about it briefly before I came on about like for example, the comments that company made and like comparing them to what like Luis Enrique made, because I saw like people going and saying, oh, but like look at what Luis Enrique did. It's like,
Yeah.
as in obviously I would have preferred like, if Luis Enrique came out and support Vinny or not, but like I'm also thinking like I also don't like the SJW, the social justice warriors out there who go and say like, oh, you see Luis Enrique didn't say, like, I went back and watched.
They say, oh, he's a supporter of racism. Oh,
Like I went back and watched the press conference. He got asked like, did you speak with your team and what do you have to say on one? And he's like, what I have to say on this matter is nothing important, and that's it. Like, he gave a non-answer. He didn't say anything. It's a very like media trained, like he's not said anything. So it's like I also don't like where people you have to force somebody to go and say if they don't want to speak, then they don't want to speak.
True.
So, yeah, like if he wants to go and be like company and go and speak out, fine. If he doesn't, that's fine too.
Yeah, in company, it was more than just an opinion. It was personal to him. He's multiple times mentioned like his father. I think he probably went through racism and so on. He also watched the game. I don't think fucking Lucho watched a single minute. I mean, wait, weren't we playing? Yeah, we were playing at the same time. So
yeah,
company was actually watching that game live. Yeah, it's like sometimes, Junior, I may put out a tweet like about Palestine or something, and then I see people commenting, "Why aren't you talking about this? Oh, you're only talking about them. Why aren't you talking about this?" It's like they always want to find what you're not doing instead of what you are doing. It's like when Pep spoke out against Palestine, they're like, "What? But another this is going on here. Why isn't he speaking out about this?" It's like, what? You can't do everything at one point, man. What?
Yeah, it's also like, especially with that one, like the thing I didn't want was like I remember like during the whole like the Black Lives Matter in 2020, and like it was like like if you didn't put a black right now it's like if you don't want to say anything, you shouldn't be forced to go and do so. Like that's on you. So
yeah, that's why I've never liked when it says, for example, when they put Palestine in their bio and so on, Junior, because I know they don't do it for themselves. They do it the perceivement of other people. Like I've been a staunch Palestine supporter since I was young. I've never put out a bio or any of that. Obviously now I'll be more vocal because I know that I'm a big account, Junior, and it's important for me to be, show support to it, and I want to do it basically. But as you said, a lot of people just performative. They do it so that people don't say, "Oh, why don't you have a BLM in your bio? Why don't you have a transgender flag in your bio? Why don't you have a Palestine flag in your bio?" Like, your opinion shouldn't represent who you are. I think it's your how can I say?
I mean, I just think generally speaking, I think in modern society, I think there's a lack of like nuance or charitableness. Like I think like even if you disagree with somebody on an opinion, political, I think that's one of the things I actually like about football is that, well, I hope still, is that even though football is almost like, if you want to go and say politics and that, it's almost like an us versus them. Like I believe this thing, I disagree with you things, and we're going to challenge on these. But I think the idea is like football. You realize it's just football. Like it's not that deep, right? But I think even in football, you can see in the society is like people don't like they can't even like be charitable to like their opponents. And I agree with you on that point. Like some people, it's just like I want to prove my point regardless of what it is, and you will never change my mind on it. It's like, okay, fine. And if you don't agree with my opinion, you're the worst thing out there. Like
Exactly. Yeah.
like there are Barca fans out there who are very reasoned and whatnot. And I've got like there's no problems with them. But problem is that it's always like this us against them mentality of like, and if you don't agree with my take, like you're completely like it's extremely polarizing. I think that's the thing. People can't have any nuance, and people can't see the other, perspective at all. So,
Yeah, that's why it's very hard for me to have so-called discussion/debate with people, because as you said, it's all about the intentions. Like, how are you supposed to have a discussion with someone, Junior, that's there for an agenda? Is there to prop his own. It's like with PSG. Like, if I'm going to be on a pod and PSG maybe are not in good form, I would sit there and say, yeah, I could see PSG losing. This is how I could see us lose. We're weak in these areas. If it's like some football fans are like insecure about talking about their, like if they are in a pod with a Barca fan, for example, they can talk about, no, they will slander their team. Oh, Balde shit and all of that. But as soon as someone else from another team is there, they're like, no.
you can too. So
Yeah, PSG is the best. No, Barca is the best. Yeah, no, PSG gonna lose. Yeah, no,
yeah, it's like when I go and
better than Dembele. Yeah.
Exactly. Like when we were losing to Sport, I was like, okay, let's be honest. Like PSG, like yeah, I mean we're in form right now. I can go and say that you could argue that Barca probably beat us fine. Like it doesn't mean that I think like we lose every single time, but like a lot of fans could never go and say something like that.
Yeah.
For appearances. It's like, all right. Like ultimately, I think like I'm not actually playing. Like I feel like sometimes I don't know. I've got a sort of a bizarre relationship. You know the phrase that it's just football, like that take. Like sometimes I feel like in some aspects I disagree with it because obviously like especially for you like you pour so much not only like money, time, effort, emotionally into the club that it's not just like okay they lose and you move on. But at the end of the day too, it's also not that like there's more important things to it than that. It's like
True.
Like you going and saying that my team is gonna lose. It's like it's not actually you playing out there. So yeah.
Oh, 100%. They make it bigger than what it is. And also, I remember one tweet I mentioned why I distance myself from like football fans is I think a lot of them they don't support the club or support the players. It's like a direct connection with themselves, Junior. So they have a terrible week. And then when they say and watch their team, they expect the team to win. Why? To make them happy, to give them that dopamine hit, to give them that escapism from their bad reality, basically like a drug. And then if their team loses, oh fucking hell, man, get rid of him. He's ass, he's shit. Fuck that, we're never gonna win it. And it's like they take out their own anger and emotions on the team and shit. Like those are humans as well that are trying to do their best. That's their job. They're earning money from it. They're trying to play football. They're trying to win the game. So that's why, like, when we lose Junior, maybe people call me positive or something, but no, I want to be realistic. I want to see the bigger picture. I want to see how the season will go. But like every single team loses games here and there. But people want to say, no, it's over. Yeah, the season is over. We're not going to win the UCL. Yeah, it's sell Dembele to Saudi and then sign a bunch of new players all the time.
No, I think people are too I guess emotional, reactionary. I think it's probably
Yeah.
in both ways. But then do you think that in general that even in terms of like the content production, like you're seeing a lot less of like the normal traditional, I guess if you want TV broadcast, and it's going a lot more towards like your average fan. But do you think that's not a good thing for football, or do you think it just is what it is?
No, I mean, it's just the same with politics. I felt back in the day, you had politicians talking. I mean, there's a reason there is a politician and there's an average human because a politician knows about what he's talking about. He studied there. It's taken him a while to come to that stage. And I also think these Sky Sports and so on, Junior, are just abusing these content creators because back in the day, Junior, they used to bring in, ex-football players, actual pundits. That costs a lot of money. Now they can just call a content creator who will come there for free or maybe a very small amount. And I don't like it. It becomes so unserious. Like if I'm gonna watch Sky Sports, which I don't do, but if I'm gonna watch it, I want to hear someone serious that knows what he's talking about, and that wants his opinion to be as serious as possible. I try my best to be as serious as possible, Junior. I try to look at numbers, look at stats, look at other people's opinions, and then I come to a conclusion. But some people that PSG lost versus Rennes, yeah, Farmers League. I told you, man, Farmers League, yeah, it's over. Oh, Dembele injured, yeah, he's yeah. I knew that Ballon d'Or was a fluke. It's basically they have an agenda, and they're just waiting for the perfect time to just hit back at it. Oh yeah, I told you so. I've been saying that for ages. They want to be right all the time. Yeah. So no, I don't like how. I mean, I don't watch them, so it doesn't affect me that much. But yeah, I don't like that we have unserious people on supposedly serious panels. And again, no personal to him, but like Micah Richards, like he's honestly a very unserious person. He doesn't know that much about football, and I think he's just there for engagement and entertainment. He's a very entertaining guy. I think a lot of people laugh at him. I think a lot of people think he's funny, and has a good relationship with Jamie Carragher, with Henri, and with Kate Abdo. I definitely agree with that. But that's supposed to be a football discourse. It's not X on the Beach or a talent show where it's about entertainment. It is supposed to be about football. That should be the main thing. Like the only clips I've ever seen blow up on Twitter is when they do like non-football stuff.
But would you
I've
not
never
agree,
seen
though?
like a clip like Richard's talking about some insane tactics and then he blows up.
Well, I
Never
think,
seen that happen.
but wouldn't you say that is that not just what the like ultimately we're in the entertainment business, and if that's what people go and want,
But this I wouldn't consider my channel to be an entertainment channel. I would consider it to be an informative channel.
but so because I've gone and seen afterwards that like Michael Richards, he can't like because Michael Richards is also on like the Sunday, like the much more serious and less laughing, and he
My channel, I could change my channel and how I run it to get more views because, as you said, it goes along with what more football fans want to watch. But I on purpose maybe nerf my own YouTube channel and growth because of what I want to push out. When people talk about my channel, I want them to talk about yeah, no, that's a dude. He talks about football. He quite clearly knows a lot about football. He mentions stats. He watches games. He can bring up tactical stuff and so on, and he gets less views. I'd rather be that kind of a channel than oh my god, he gets million views. He's just rage baiting all the time, man. He's so funny, man. He said De Jong is better than Vitinha. Like, oh, crazy! What a funny, insane. Like, for me, the best example because this dude, like, I think he knows. I mean, he's on purpose, does it? He's that Bengali, Indian, Pakistani United fan. If you've seen him, he's short.
yeah. Oh, I know. Is it like knee? Is it his name starts with an N?
No idea. I've just seen some of his clips sometimes.
I think,
But like him, his entire thing is just trolling all the time.
I think those people like. I
Like,
mean, I don't know.
like that. They're just catering for 12-year-olds.
But the thing is, even people like that, like I know, like people that are purposely trolls. I mean, I think in them, it's like I know you're a troll, so I don't want to take you serious. I think there's the worst people, or the people. I think there are genuine people out there who like believe wholeheartedly in their hearts, like those ridiculous takes. Like,
Yeah, this dude. Yeah, exactly. Starts with N. Yeah.
yeah, him.
Yeah, he's just every single video I've
Like, he's
seen
a-
of him. He's just
I
trolling.
think he like that's just like I know he's trolling, so it's like
Yeah. No, he
I see
clearly.
things. But like, there's others who are like they're speaking sincerely and like what's like ridiculous take. Like, yeah, for example, on the for example, let's go back to the one like the Flick was better than Luis Enrique. It's like that one. I'm like, I like the thing is, I'm not even sure you believe that, but then the way you speak about it's like maybe you actually do, and it's
Yeah,
like
no, I just think it's more of like an emotional. Like my team has the best manager, my team has the best player, my team has the best this, which can happen to all football fans. But I think it comes to a certain point where you gotta look at it from a non-Barca perspective and be like, whoa, what Lucha did. Okay, we gotta give him the prop. We gotta give him the praise.
no, so which type do you? I prefer the person who's like clearly a troll because at least then I know you're not like you're putting an act. The other one's like you. I mean, of course, yes. I mean, I guess you are sort of putting an act in that you're backing your club no matter what. But it's like you probably like there's some people out there who like legitimately go and say like, oh, they actually believe Flick was a better manager, and like at this point, I'm like, at first I'm like, okay, ha ha ha, very funny, but then they actually legitimately believe it. I'm like, based on what? I think that for me is more concerning.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the ones that try to be perceived as serious but are actually clownish are worse than someone that his entire thing is just being a clown.
Yeah, being a troll.
But as you said, Junior, a good point. It's just that's what the world has become. The world has become so unserious, so rage baity. Like sometimes I'm like scrolling on Instagram or something, and I'm like, why am I doing this? I'm just watching a lot of people that are saying stupid stuff on purpose to get engagement and emotion out of their viewers. So I just stopped. I can't watch this shit. That's why I don't watch YouTube videos anymore. I don't watch other people because I don't know. Everything has just become all about agendas and even Twitter. And I'm gonna be honest. On Twitter back in there, I used to be way bigger troll. I used to celebrate injuries. I used to troll when teams lose all the time. But now with time, I'm trying to become as serious as possible. Just to, just tweeting sincerity.
I think for me, I think my biggest share last was like the whole Barca thing. But even now, I think it's like I don't know. Now that we've beaten them, it's like move on. Like I still have like my Arsenal agendas and whatnot. But even that, it's like even like if Arsenal go on, like I'd go into category that you asked me. As much as it pains me to say, I think you go and you look at it. Arsenal could be PSG over 2 legs, and you can go and say thus far this season they've been better than PSG. That's fine. Now I'm not gonna go and say that like PSG get washed by them or anything, but like I go and say Arsenal are better than PSG this season. And if you go and say that, that's fair. I'm not gonna go and say you're delusional for thinking otherwise.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't know. I'm trying to bring it back to old days, Junior. Bring it back to seriousness, honesty, and we'll see. I may do maybe a collab here and there in knockout stage. Just let's see how it goes. And I don't know how you feel like when you are on other platforms and when you come here. Like, would you feel more like just seriousness? I think chill. I would say chill. It's like we drop our weapons, Junior. Obviously, we're PSG fans, so it's not the same. It's like on this channel, I like just to drop our weapons and just like chill. Just you think Dembele's ass, man. Like, okay, we don't care. Yeah. Oh, you think that? Yeah. Like when Phil comes in, it just says crazy stuff.
Yeah, no, it's. Well, I mean, we'll see. I think also potentially it's just a meta currently. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's a meta. Yeah, no, we'll see. I think one of the big things is also like the short form nature of it. Like even though I guess I technically grew up on shorts and whatnot, I think the fact of longer form content where you're actually able to fully go and explain, your takes and things, forces you to go and see, okay, this person's actually thought through. Because going in, like a lot of times, if I do TikTok live, they'll just go and repeat. But then when you go and you actually go, okay, let's break it down. Let's actually go and have a conversation. You go and see, like, you actually don't know what you're talking about. So, like, for example, at this point, like, how, like, some people will try to go and get me whenever I'm talking about PSG. They'll go and say, "Oh, you're not even the biggest club in France." I'm like, that for me personally has never even gotten me. It's like, all right, so you think Marseille is the biggest club in France? I go and say, based on what? Like, I think it's just something. How some takes, it's just you've heard somebody else say it, and because it's been said so many times, you just go and use it, but you've never actually gone and done. Like for the PSG Marseille one, it's like, okay, all I'll bring up is Marquinhos has won more trophies than Marseille, and you can't use this time around all. But they play in the same league. They played. Marseille has a crazy budget as well. They got the second biggest budget in France. You get clubs like Nantes, Strasbourg. All these clubs have won trophies, but they haven't. So it's like I don't take that seriously.
True. They just follow the wave, and that's how most people are. They're just sheep.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Did you watch the Madrid game?
Yeah, I caught some blips of it towards the end, but not that entirely. No. How so?
I was also just watching glimpses of it, but it's funny to see. The Mbappe discussion. Oh, we'll see.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed, I actually put out a stat about it. This one right here. So Mbappe and Vinicius under Xabi and Arbeloa. Under Xabi, Mbappe 33, J, Vinicius 13. Arbeloa, Mbappe 10, Vinicius 8. And I even like the pictures I put. Like he's holding, and he's looking at him like, nah, this is my boy. Xabi's like, nah, this is my boy. Actually thinking about making a video about it because it's clear that ever since Arbeloa came in, he like supported Vinny because everything Vinny's done for the club. I think Xabi just wanted to do what's best for the club, which was making the team about Mbappe. That's also why Mbappe's level has dropped off. And even Arbeloa said it himself, I think, or at least the report said he's not here to do what Xabi did. He's here to continue what Ancelotti did. So I don't know. Madrid are in a weird situation where they don't want to fully accept Mbappe is their main man. He's the one that you should build the team around. And if that's at the expense of Vinicius leaving the club, then Vinicius should leave the club. It feels like they're stuck in the past. Like, why'd you get Mbappe if you still want to make the team about Vinny? And they can't coexist. That's also why Mbappe's level has... I mean, he's still getting goals and so on. He's still Mbappe at the end of the day. But I don't think he's as good, as confident, moving as good as he did under Xabi.
Yeah, I suppose so. I think the more and more, I think Mbappe is going to be really, really interesting. And I think the fact that Mbappe, what's happened with him is almost sort of, I'm seeing it, is sort of almost vindicating PSG to a certain degree. Because for the longest time, it's all PSG was holding him back, this, that, and the other. And like, now, before, you used to be said as a troll and whatnot, that, the whole Mbappe general dictator, this, that, and the other. But now it's like everyone's going and saying it. I'm sure you've seen those like AI made memes of Mbappe like in a general suit and whatnot. It's like, I mean, I think what you can do with Mbappe, I think it only works for like a short burst. Like, for example, I think that's why Mbappe, okay, maybe bar the Euros, you would say, is actually pretty good internationally with France, because it's a short burst where you can just focus on one player and sort of have a carry job. But when it comes over the course of an entire season, I don't know, at least recently, he's not a net positive. So,
no, I think with Mbappe, because I don't know, like building a team or an attack around Dembele is easier than Mbappe because Dembele presses, he can score, he can play make, he's less limited. I think Mbappe, if you actually want to get the fully best out of him, you have to build the entire, everything completely around him, similar to PSG in 21-22. But in Madrid, because they have Vinny, they don't want, like Mbappe, I built a team. I built Mbappe, Osimhen, Olise. Osimhen will do the workhorse stuff for Mbappe. Press, make the runs, be in the box, be a threat, everything. And then Olise as a playmaker. Vinicius, I would say, is more of like a goal-scoring winger. There's no point having him with Mbappe. It doesn't suit the best out of Mbappe. Same with Bellingham. You want to have more of a Güler profile at playmaking number 10. We saw Güler and Mbappe, how they were cooking. Bellingham and Mbappe, you have a goal-scoring midfielder. How is that supposed to work? So I think Mbappe, you just got to build the team fully around him. And I don't know why Madrid don't want to do that.
So then what do you think then happens, for example, with this summer, like with the whole Vinny contract situation?
It depends. I think Perez loves Vinny a lot, but he also loves Mbappe. But I think you got to make a sacrifice and sell Vinny. I don't know if Madrid would do it, though.
I mean, we'll see. Oh, I find it really funny how Especially, I remember, especially it was specifically when he signed in 2022, that like the entire footballing world was like mocking PSG, saying, "Oh, he's the president, he's the coach, he's the manager, he decides the lineups, he decides who's in, who's out, so on and so forth. PSG small club, this can never happen at this club. They've got no backbone, they've got no spine." We're saying, okay, fine. And specifically Madrid fans, they were going and saying this could never happen at Madrid. No player is above the institution.
Yeah.
We kicked out Ronaldo because he wanted more money. We wanted to wait for Mbappe. Okay, ¿qué fue? Mbappe within what, 2 years, taking number 10, taking penalties, taking free kicks. I've seen him take corners at times. Is going and openly going and telling the manager to, you know, come out and disrespecting orders and whatnot. Like even the whole like injury thing where like he was playing through an injury to try to beat Ronaldo's record, even though, I mean, it was an individual record for him, but had no bearings for Real Madrid. That was injured, was meant to miss the Super Cup final, but no, decided to play it against and was rushed back.
Yeah.
All of those different things and whatnot. It's like the exact same things that people were mocking. Oh, look what he's got at PSG and whatnot has now happened at Real Madrid. And the thing is, though, is that like I think especially on French TikTok, like the whole I'm sure you must have seen like the whole Lamine Yamal performances, like he'll go and have a good performance against like some minnows in La Liga. Barca fans are gonna go and see he's the best thing all around. Then he's gonna go post something on Instagram, drop a stinker, and then everything goes around. With Mbappe, it's like he might go and struggle, and then eventually he'll start scoring goals, and then the team is gonna start performing badly, and you blame everybody, but no, it's everybody but Mbappe. It's sort of like even in that 2021-2022 season, like I remember like everybody else got booed, but Mbappe didn't. It's like Mbappe, because I guess you could say, like, looking at it purely, right, objective, he was performing. He was getting the stats, he's getting the G and everything, but the team overall wasn't performing.
Mbappe performs at the expense of the team.
Yeah, I think that's
the team performs at the expense of Mbappe.
It's a perfect quote. So then, do you say you think Vinny gets sold this summer?
I think that's what they need to do. But I have no clue. I have no clue if it will happen. Because I thought it was logical, strictly after last season. It should have happened. But clearly no. Junior, I'm thinking of ending it.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to get going as well.
Wanted to ask just a continuation of that. If it happens, when?
So I'm doing, well, the shoot is meant to be on Tuesday, and then there's gonna be like, I think it's 4 videos we're shooting in total, but I don't know when after, like when they go and decide to release. I'll probably have more information during the day of the shoot, but I'll keep you posted and keep you up to date. And then obviously, like when it comes out, there'll be tags and you can react and do all those things.
Perfect. Good luck, as I've said.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you for having me on.
Pleasure as usual, Junior.
See ya. Bye.
Take care. See you. Right then, people, that's been it from boy PSG. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this post-match podcast. To the 44 people watching at the moment, thanks so much. Thanks so much for the support. Thanks so much for the appreciation. And I'm very happy you guys are enjoying the content. Monaco next up on Wednesday in the Champions League to make it through to round of 16. And then we have a Champions League draw on Friday. Barca or Chelsea. Hello, ski. But yeah, that's been it from boy PSG. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this post-match podcast. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the live watch-along previously. And as usual, take care, Cody. That's been it from boy PSG. As usual.